yo, what up, everybody? So, Access and Wells only. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. What's going on, homie?
What's going on, everybody? We got some nice price action going on in the chart right now.
Yeah, we
When don't
do.
we? When don't we?
Yeah, basically. It's funny every time people dump like stupidly like that, it just makes them look dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, man. So I mean,
It's
on a 2 week
just,
cycle, hopefully we just have 5 million coin dumps. You can just expect those, more and
yo, that
more.
would be nice, right? That would be real nice.
Do you
Like,
think
what
that?
a moron.
Do you think that guy's gonna do that, or do you think he's gonna keep some of them?
I don't know, man. I mean, the guy has no stakes. And it's just literally or no other coins. Oh wait, you mean the one that dumped today or the one from yesterday? There was one from yesterday that
There's
dumped
a
five
guy that
million too.
has 5 million. He has stakes that's like 5 million coming out
Yeah,
every
yeah,
two
yeah,
weeks.
yeah. That every 2 weeks. Yeah, right, right. That's
So
what I'm
like I
talking about.
think the
Yeah,
end of November sometime I read.
yeah, yeah. End of November, November 28th.
Okay. So yeah, do you think that
Yeah,
guy's gonna unload, or do you
yeah.
think he's
They,
gonna
they
stay?
don't have anything else. That's all they have, and there weren't any other wallets connecting it that I could see.
Yo,
So
Dumper, if you're out there, man, just for your future self's sake, please do yourself a favor and do not dump your last bag of 5 million hex. Please do not do it for your
they
own
will,
self.
bro. They will. This person reeks of moron to me, so I'm gonna go on ahead and bank on the fact that they are going to just go on ahead and do that.
They just
So,
don't know what they hold, man. They might just be uneducated. Well, step right up.
well,
Wales is here
yeah,
to educate, right? Right, brother?
yeah, sure. Yeah, you go on ahead and sell that, bro. That's all you need to do. Yeah, that's my advice to like that would be great, right? Because here's the thing: prices is gonna still do what it does, and that person is gonna be lucky enough to have 5 million hex to sell at a
Yeah,
higher
well,
price in the future.
yep. And I want to just add to that. We'll get into our price stuff later on in the show. We might have some extra special guests coming on here in a little bit, so
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
we'll see if
see.
they if and when they show up. So
Yeah. Got another meager payout today. These sub six payouts are very demeaning. You know, they're a little demeaning over time. But
it
what can you
is. I mean,
say?
it's a little bit of a slap in the face after getting tagged with some 6 and 9
Yeah,
baggers a
for
couple
like
weeks ago.
for
Speaking
like 2 weeks
of,
straight
you have
too.
that new chart, and I haven't told you this yet, but inside the chart, there's a hexagon drawn inside the chart. I'm gonna show you
What?
what I'm saying. I'm gonna show you what I mean when we get.
Oh shit. This is gonna be
It's
good.
like
I
the
wasn't
chart's
even aware.
speaking to us. Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, I
it's
wasn't even aware.
significant. It's significant. Can't wait. Can't wait.
That'd be pretty cool. All right. I wasn't ready for that. Because I stared at it, of course, but I haven't seen that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing too: is like when you're in the thick of this stuff and you're processing data every day, it's easy to like just
Yeah.
not
Overlook
see
shit like
something.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
it
doing your stuff
is.
every day.
It is.
No,
It
it's always
is.
good if y'all are gonna see some cool stuff. I'm sure that I don't even fucking see. That's the
Yeah,
best part about being
exactly.
part of a community, right?
Yep. Yep. That's the whole thing, man. That's why I try to tell people, everybody has value, everybody does something. Because everybody has their own unique vantage point, right? Everybody just has it. It's just that simple. So one day people will just have to come to terms with it. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Let's do a little roll call. We got 40 heads in the chat. We're only 4 minutes in, so let's not, power this thing in. Uh, we could change this color here. Let's see. I'm getting a little bored of this. Uh, yeah, I like that. Boom. Give it that little hex twang there.
Going on day 43.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? What's up, Day 43? Big
Nardo for the
Gunner,
win in the chat.
Crypto,
What's up, brother?
Nardo, Allen, Cheeto, what's going on? Big Bud Wolf, T-Bird, what's good, brother? Cool Luke, what's going on, man? Mel Tony, as always. Post chain underscore Hex Miller. And what's going on, bro? Crypto Mystic, Latin American Crypto, what's going on, brother? Oops, excuse me, folks. Ashanti was good, mama. Let's see. This guy, what up? Max Fetty was good. I D Block, what's up, homie? Lost Legacy, what's going on? Trapper Belly was good, man. Adele, is it worth sack 4,000? What? Nah, man. To me, sack phase is over, so I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not recommending anybody sack anything at this point in
Yeah, if
time.
you've been, not to cut you off, sorry.
No, you're good. Go
Um,
ahead, man.
the the sack phase is over, everybody. It's over. Don't be sacking. Please tell
Pretty
everyone.
much.
Stop
Yeah.
sacking.
Don't be sacking, man.
Pretty sure
Please.
people are still sending money to that address.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on, but people need to stop that shit.
But you can get Palm, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit though. When it launches, you'll be able to buy
Yeah,
the price
like
up and give us a quick 10x. So we'll see you
I
over on
mean,
Palm Square.
hey, I am hoping that there is some type of miracle that allows us to buy some magical dip that they're gonna give us because you know they're gonna give us a dip. There's gonna be sellers. There's always sellers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll see.
The sellers at every price point, and that's the beauty of having a token that was released of the fair, free and fair launch, where everyone was able to just get in for free.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
it means the market started from zero, but you're gonna have like, and it's all on chain mostly. Most of the trading is on chain, so that overpowers the chart really, and it creates this like wholesome chart from beginning to end. So there's a lot of unique parameters for this particular coin. Um, I love that part of this because you've been watching the chart since the early days, or even if you've been watching mainly, I should say more since Big Payday than anything, you'd notice that the thing moves like a sequence. It's like a cycle that's repeating, but on a really rapid rate.
Yeah, let me actually put the chart up because I feel like a weirdo when it's just us on the screen. Give me a second. Let me get this on. Oh
Um,
yeah, this is just recalling. I mean, Hex is so unique, man. It just even when it's doing nothing, it's doing something. It's so crazy.
yeah, this move. I mean, it's so interesting to me. Well, I can't wait to talk about it. But oh, here we go. Here's some chart.
Beautiful thing.
I just wanted to like. I thought that these moves, like the consolidation all last year, pretty much between 0.002 and 1.5 pennies. That all that like I think it was like 10 months or something. It was a long time
Oh, you
before
mean
we
hold on?
broke out.
Let me pull up this.
I mean, we don't have to even go back too far.
It's all this
Like
is
at
live now. What's going on?
huh?
I don't got no notifications for him going live. I think the ad is wrong. No, that ad on the chart said that he was live. I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
think that is
just
wrong
need
actually.
to. Yeah,
I mean, just
talking
a
about
sideways move. Yep.
So this
Pretty
is
true size.
7/10 right here. 7/10 of a cent right here. That's what split the range.
There was 100% range, and we traded underneath that halfway point for half of the duration, and then we traded above that halfway point for the other half of the duration, and then when we
Yeah, which is
broke.
interesting, right? Very symmetric.
Right. I was expecting. Right. That's what I'm saying. So with the whole cycles thing, you have like these stairway to heaven. I think is what we call it in the hex community.
Yeah.
So there's a stairway to heaven, but you see how the stairs are getting shorter.
Yes, sir. And interestingly enough, I finally tweaked one of my charts to reflect the data correctly. And I just hadn't noticed it because I just really hadn't thought about it. But it's going to be cool when I explain it. It's going to make sense. I don't know if you caught that when I
I
showed you the
caught it right
chart.
away, and I was like,
You caught it, right?
what the heck? Like, why? I was like, did he screw this up? And then I thought to myself, I don't know why the data shifted like that, but that's what I'm waiting for is that explanation.
Oh, you're going to love it, bro. Because once people like, yo,
Because it's like anyway, I'll wait for your, because I can speculate all
it's.
day, but it doesn't matter. Hold on, let me see what's going on in the chat here. There's a lot going on here.
Go ahead. Because
Let me
I'm
run.
not at the.
I'm
I'm
reading
at the
here.
window cleaning my
Oh,
fucking.
cleaning your window?
Yeah,
That
sure.
way,
Why not?
on top of
But
everything else you're doing today. All right, just
yeah.
get the Windex.
So it's cool, right? Because Hex just works so well, right? Like it's just fucking crazy. Um, and let me just get set up over here because I'm gonna be taking care of some stuff. But yeah, when you see Hex, right, and you just stare at this chart, I think there's one thing that should be obvious to everyone, and that's just a simple fact that even when it consolidates, is going up, right?
And we can dig
Like
into
it's
that
going up.
in the shorter time on the shorter time frames here in a second. I just want to answer this question from Cheetah Western. He asked, and I want to know your opinion on this too. Like, what the question was, what is the best way to keep dry powder, stable coin or something else? How would you answer that question? And then I'll come in with my answer. I'm curious. You there, bro? You get muted? We might have lost whales, everybody. I don't know what's going on over there.
Oh, sorry, man. I muted myself somehow. I didn't even notice. Yeah, fucking crazy. I said, well, I'm just gonna go on ahead and say it. My favorite stablecoin is Hex, nothing else.
Yeah, so I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna be like if you really understand where we're at on the hex cycle right now, you don't need to be in
And
anything
anything
else other than
else?
hex because the pattern that we're trading right now is like a bullish pattern, and it's like the one signal you're gonna get that's like an automatic buy for like a large investor. That's why the price action's like fake selling down, so to speak, into this fake triangle because whales are hoping you guys dump into their little range here before we take off and break 20 cents.
Because the next stop is 25 cents. By the way, that's the
It's
next stop.
and we might not even stop there. We might keep going. Like I think we
But we're
could.
gonna keep going because. So here's a funny thing, right? And when we see this chart later, it's gonna become obvious. But I say this all the time, but maybe now that I've fixed this chart, it's gonna make more sense. Because look, all these charts I show you guys, man, they're worth thousands of dollars. Like if this was Wall Street, y'all motherfuckers be paying $5,000 a month just to stare at these charts, just to stare at them, not even to have me explain them to you, just for you to stare at them. That's how crazy it is because there's literal money staring at you in these charts, right? And that's the crazy thing. Like, this is really all math based. Like, you can't refute what the math is showing you, right? And that's why it's important to really keep that at the forefront of your mind. When we get to these charts, it's going to be really obvious. Give me a second, guys, because there's some crazy shit going on outside my crib. Hold on.
So, anyways, yeah, Hex is the best stable coin because right now where we're at in the price structure, you're going to be able to get the coin and it's going to go up in value based on just the simple bullish targets that we have. And then you're also going to get a duplicate copy on Pulse Chain. So you're gonna have double the leverage by just getting into this now and holding it through the next few months.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So just hold tight in Hex and try not to look at the chart because it's just going to keep going up and you're going to maybe try to make a mistake. So don't do that. That's
Yeah, that's usually how it happens.
I think this thing's gonna. I think vertical is an understatement. I think it's gonna time warp by year end. This thing's gonna it's gonna be crazy when because I really do believe that the whales in the system are going to protect their investment by such a degree, and they recognize soon here that if they don't price people out of T-shares, that large money can come in and buy a ton of
Hmm.
coins still. So it's in their benefit to get the price to like $10 quickly because it just really strengthens our T-share positions for those who've been in. And the system's still under 100,000 stakers. I think it's around
Yep.
60,000 on
Well,
on.
that's so the 60,000 that you see on hexdailystats.com is a number that includes current stakers plus stakes that have already happened.
Okay. So there's
So that's
50,000,
60,000
almost
is
50,000 actual
yeah,
live stakes.
correct. Yeah. And I'm
Okay.
actually going to update the data sometime during the stream. So before we actually get to the charts, because it's actually quicker now that site is up, I've been able to reconfigure how quickly I can actually upload the data. I mean, it's not super convenient, but it won't take a whole 3 hours and shit
Chat,
either.
I'm sorry, man. I keep getting distracted as we're going along here.
Yeah, hold
Trying to
on,
keep
because
up
I'm
with all that.
distracted too. I'm not really paying attention to the chat either. I'm sorry, guys. Give us a second because we're both basically getting ready to start here. We just start talking, so it seems like we are ready, but these are just regular conversations. Let me get back to it and find some questions because I see that there's a lot already. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is a good one. That's one way of looking at it, right? Because the more people that continue to sack, the bigger the pool gets, right? And in essence, really, the lower the starting price for Pulse theoretically, simply because what's happening is that you're dividing more money, right? So there has to be a lower price. It's just the way it works. It's just a simple math problem. Um, come on, man.
I was listening to a Conrad Zen video today, and he's super bullish on PHEX.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like
yeah,
it's hard not to.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's hard not to be bullish. Anything, Hex, anything Pulse is just hard,
Yeah.
because what other well, number one, the demand for Pulse is crazy. So just based on demand alone, and this thing hasn't even launched yet, right? So that alone makes it super bullish to me. Because again, right, you don't have the, I guess, ambiguity of what is this coin, like what is the utility, and all these dumb questions you get with Hex, even though it's supremely obvious what Hex does. But I guess people have this perpetual mental block. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, but that's something that's important to understand too, right? Because that's what it's all about. Like a lot of the people that have sacrificed, they're gonna get so many coins. Um, I don't understand this question. 60,000 hex can I do good? I don't know, bro. It depends on your personal situation. Nobody can answer that question except for you. Sorry. Um, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's gonna be repetitive, right? We're always gonna see people dumping. They're always gonna dump, thinking they're smart, but in essence, they just gave people an opportunity, and maybe that's their, purpose or their goal. But I'm hard pressed to think so because nobody realistically sells 5 million of anything and think that's a smart decision or anything like that. So maybe, I don't know. I'm hard pressed to think that there's actually some benevolent actor out there actually trying to give people the opportunity to buy some relatively cheap hex. What do you think, Axis? You think that's what's going on here?
A benevolent actor. I think this is just a whale accumulation. So I think it's just if you're buying here, it's an opportunity, right?
I mean, yeah, but that's for those that are buying. I'm talking about the seller's action. Like, what's the seller's intent? Because we
I
can
I just
hypothesize
think
on
they
that
want
all
to
day.
exit. I think they just want to exit. I don't think there's any
Uh,
rhyme or reason.
yeah, it doesn't seem like that to me. It
You think
doesn't.
this is
It doesn't.
deliberate?
It seems like that. I mean, I don't. It seems like it's a person that doesn't really know what they're doing. Maybe they're just used to selling everything in one foul swoop, and they don't really understand that 5 million of quantity of anything is not just something you transact because you're gonna like move the price against yourself a lot. Because that's my
Yeah. Well,
thing,
they
right?
just
My thing
we should
is,
remind them how to do it in a smarter way. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but
uh,
like
I mean, all right. So let's go to what is this? ETH. Hold on a second. Let me get my Play wallet on here, the one with no money in it.
you're going to you where do you do limit orders on Matcha or what do you do?
Yeah, I
Do you use
usually do
something else?
matcha, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
do
just gonna
too.
check the liquidity. So I'm not gonna
Gotcha.
go there. I'm just gonna go here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's see. So if you do 100 hex, that's 1.7. 100 ETH, that's 1.79 million hex, right? So okay, let's just swap it, right? Whatever. So five. Let's just do half of what that guy did, right? Let's do 2.5. All right, that's 130 ETH. The slippage is 5%. Why would you take a voluntary 5% hit when you could easily exit and spend less than that on gas? I don't understand. And that's what I'm saying. Right? Because
Yeah, that
5% of a
that guy
million is
lost
50,000.
160,000.
There you go. All right, I was guesstimating 50,000. So there you go. Even worse.
I think it was 1.3 million that he got, but it would have been 1.5 something.
I mean, to me, that's insane, bro. Why would you
Yeah,
give
why would
up?
you throw away like a 3 years salary for like a middle class citizen?
Yeah, I don't get that.
You know, you're not Donald Trump, so you
I
can't
mean,
just
even if
say
you
no.
are, right? Like, why would you just give money away like that? I just don't
I,
understand.
better off in your hands than somebody else is what I say.
I guess, man. Shit. I mean, that's just one of those things, right? That's why I don't get it. But that's why it's like, well, what is this person really trying to do?
Again,
What's their
this is why we are here is to remind people what they're holding because
right?
dude, you're gonna laugh. I went on my one of my original MetaMask accounts where some of my very first stakes were,
Hmm.
where all my original pre big payday stakes are. And I looked in there and then there's like a list of a ton of other stakes on there. And I'm just looking and there's like up like 5% of the stack of stakes on that wallet are pre BPD. And I just thought
Wow.
to myself, wow, what a freaking pleb. It just goes to show how I did not understand the system early
Yeah,
on, you know.
yeah,
So then you have like post BPD, you have like a gigantic swath of stakes, right? Because eventually I figured
yeah.
it out. So
Right.
it's if you didn't get in early, don't feel bad. A lot of us
Yep.
didn't do enough back then.
Even the people that were in early still like fumbled the ball to some degree or another until they actually figured out what to do because that's just how this works. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the latest music video from Richard Hart, please do. This is funny. He's dropping music videos now. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Morales. This is the best way to hold dry powder. I literally get money. First thing I do is put it in the hex. Why would I wait? I don't understand. Like I don't even care if I buy the top. I know in a week's time that shit isn't even gonna matter anymore most of the time. Most of the time in a week's time, by the end of the following week, irrelevant. So 2 weeks total, like usually you're good. It's very rare when you have a 1 month period of downtrend, and even then you're good because after that month passes, guess what? Price has to be higher, and look at where it is now. It's higher versus where it was a month ago.
Rubber band, yeah. It's like the
Right.
rubber band effect.
Yep. I mean, literally, right?
Yeah.
This is perfect.
It has to try to snap back to the t-shirt, right? It has to try to snap
Yep.
back and find equilibrium again.
It literally has to, not an option.
Hmm.
So that's one of those beautiful things that people have to understand. X equals $3. Yeah, sure, maybe. Why not?
Easy.
Yeah, very possible. If you know the power of the price. No, I don't know what this is. Anybody know what this is? Shout out to Fun and Jim. What's going on, brother? Parable of Pearl of Great Price. No, I don't think I know that one. Please write that in the chat later on if you know. Yeah, this is what I think as well. Test net announcement plus fork date announcement is going to give us a lift off in Hex that most people just are not going to believe what the hell just happened to themselves. Like they're just gonna be in shock, right? Because of unit bias. Like I was having this conversation with somebody earlier, and they just don't get it. They just don't get it, and it's really just a mental block. It's not that they don't get it. Is that they don't want to get it in a way, right? Because that's like that sudden wealth syndrome hitting them in the face, So I get it. It's hard to just realize you hit that jackpot and now you got to really think about what the hell you're gonna do because guess what? It just got serious, right?
I
I
mean, these
mean,
systems are eating the world.
imagine if this just jumps to $5 this year or $1. I mean, $1 is enough, right? For a lot
Yeah,
of
I
people,
mean,
that's more than enough.
yeah, I mean, and honestly, I think the market could absorb a lot of the selling up there on the basis that there's
Oh
only
yeah,
really 50,000 of us stakers. And
Well, the
so,
interesting thing is, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. I'm
oh,
sorry.
I was just going to add to that just that the guys that are liquid just aren't getting more, so it's just less
Right.
selling.
Right. Well, the interesting thing is that it seems that the folks that sell, they either come back in and buy higher, or they just don't come back. And then the rest of the buying is some people that understand what's going on, or they've just found it and they're taking advantage ASAP because they understand. Right. So like, there's a very distinct reason that Hex goes up and to the right, at least in my mind.
You know
Because
what
I
I
look
think,
at it.
Wales, about these dumpers? I just had a thought. Like, there's
Mm,
guys in these social influencer furu guys like out on the web that have been around in crypto for like maybe 5 or 6 years on YouTube that just
right.
randomly found their Hex wallet and it was like stacked, loaded, and they didn't even remember it.
Right.
So they could be just random people that forgot they had these coins that they've reclaimed.
It's very true, bro.
There's
Very
like all
true.
sorts of
I've
little
often,
weird shit.
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Because you really just never know.
Mm.
You really just never know. Sale comes from anywhere. And that's the funny thing. Like that, when I looked at that wallet earlier, I think it was like 600 days, like almost as much as this has been around. So whoever that was aware of the free claim and probably was just like, oh, it's that time. Probably had like a calendar date or something.
Mm.
Because they don't have anything else. Like they literally just have like the stakes from here to the end of the November, and that's it.
Mm.
So that particular wallet is interesting to me because it's
They
just like
tried to
bare
time the
bone.
bull market in Bitcoin for sure.
Uh, might be the case.
I did
Not
that.
much of
I tried. Some of my
yeah. People
stakes lined
try.
up pretty good so far.
Well, yeah. You know what's interesting? I was talking about this with somebody too.
And then I think to myself, God damn, why didn't I go 5 5 5
Right.
5?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? And I'll make a video on this. It's just like staking strat. Like how like there's so many different ways to stake, right? And it took me really a while to wrap my head around all of that. Um, but it's actually pretty cool because of all the optionality. And all the optionality, while cool, does make it difficult at the same time because it's like, well, what makes sense? And it
Yeah.
really depends on what it is you want, right? Because there's people that have short term needs, there's people that have long term needs. Like, for example, my personal need at the start of all of this was to set myself up for a very specific mission. And my specific mission was wealth generation. So I locked in all my initial T shares at 15 years as soon as I realized what was going on, because that is what made the most sense to me, right? So now that I got all that locked down and I'm about to get a copy, I can now start thinking of shorter term stakes. Maybe I want to retire
Exactly.
next year, right? Things like that. So you gotta like just think about what makes sense for you, like realistically,
Wills, I
but
think
you
I think that could be a broadly used like universal, like you sit down with a professional person who knows a lot about Hex and you're
right,
sitting across the
right.
table from them. That's probably going to be one of the strategies they're going to offer you right away is go heavy 15 years out now before while you're early or you're just getting in, get as many shares as you can now.
Correct. Because that
And then
T-shirt only does one thing, right?
only goes up. And so really what you're left with is how much fiat can I get and commit to this savings plan that I got on Hex?
Right,
And in the beginning stages, it should be as much as you can afford, and it should be as far as you can out because that's just going to get you in, and that ensures your long-term success now. So you're
right,
doing something now that really locks in a future position for yourself. Then
yeah,
once that bag starts to accrue by like month 6 or 12 or 18, it's going to be it's going to come in waves because that's how the system ratchets up price. So it's going to come and you're going to get like these 6 month cycles where you'll get nice big increases in your bag size, which is going to give you both confidence in the market, but also give you something to fall back on. So that'll keep you coming back with more fiat, and then you can build a shorter term position. So
right.
a lot of
And,
people talk about this experience.
yeah. I mean, it's funny. I was thinking like, what's one good way of setting up a stake? And I was like, well, if you're gonna set up like short term, you probably want to roll them out over a total period of time while you got short stakes rolling under that short long stake. All right, like if you got a 5 year stake, then you have a 3 year, then you have a 2 year, instead of having like a bunch of separate stakes. Like always start from the back to the front, basically. like the longest first, and then work your way in always, because that's always gonna make the you're always gonna get the most shares that way, right? And that's kind of, even if you are setting yourself up for a short term stake, you should definitely focus on always trying to capture the most shares possible, because it's bad enough it's a short stake, right? So importante.
There are a lot of staking videos out there.
I mean, that's the thing. There's so many ways to go about it. That's why it really just depends what your ultimate desire is, right? Or need. More is the more apt word. What is your need, right? Because we already know the price is going up. We already know. So what difference does it make? The only thing you really need to figure out, and figure it out in a responsible fashion, is, when you're gonna get off the train ride, because we know where it's going.
More or
We know.
less. I mean, it's just don't overextend yourself too far, because a little bit of money can still go a long way in the system. So you're
Exactly.
getting double everything doubled. It's more about just getting exposure. And I'm sure we're not talking to all just new people either. We're mostly just talking to experts, anyways. But for anybody that is new, that is out there, this is all important stuff to know as you're coming into the system, and just make your claim now and go long.
Correct. I mean, it's a claim on time, right? And I think that that's the most important thing. And thanks for the super chat, Alan. Appreciate you, brother.
So it's funny you say that about time, because kind of gets into our topic for tonight on digital scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was thinking today about, I had this visualization about how this thing monetizes time. Like, I really had like a deep thought and understanding about what that really truly means.
Mm-hmm.
And really what that means when you monetize time like that, and the whole in a self-contained system, is really just infinity.
Right. And
And
it's funny. We've talked about this before. Actually, it just wasn't as obvious at the time, because we were talking about bonding curves and shit. And anytime people hear that word, their brain goes like, it shuts off.
yeah,
So, but we've talked about this before. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you're. I just this is. Go ahead. I I just think that people underestimate just the whole digital scarcity thing. I think a lot of people just don't understand. I think a lot of, I don't think anyone here in this chat does their best job of explaining digital scarcity. That's basically what I'm saying. It's like important that everyone understands that when you're talking to a no coiner, or just like a newbie about digital scarcity, you got to be crystal clear about it, what that means. Like, because everybody's coming from a perspective of that everything on the digital world is all open and can be copied. And I think that
Yeah, that's not
there
always the
needs to
case.
be a clear line in the sand, needs to be drawn, that the innovation of Bitcoin and blockchain is that it's sandboxed off. It's self-contained ledger. It's immutable. It's like all these properties, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes it the self-fulfilling system, right? That accrues value over time. It's because these networks are incentivizing humans through profitability, through capitalism, really. Because we're all trying to get yield to have better lives, right? That's just the goal. At the end of
Correct.
the day,
Correct.
we're all searching for the same thing. So these
Yeah.
cryptos, man, they're amazing for giving you that, right? This high appreciating, like, capabilities. And so, don't, again, digital scarcity, right? Like, a lot of people forget that when you have something on one hand, like, imagine balancing a scale. When you have something on one hand that is limited in amount, and on the other hand, if you can conceptualize infinity, what that would mean. And what I mean by that is, like, the amount of dollars that could be printed is infinity. On the other hand, I'm talking about limited amount of, like, let's say Bitcoins or something else, like another monetary asset like T shares, that eventually becomes limited down to zero.
Yep.
They they work they work in opposite directions, so they're negatively correlated. So, like, as more money is printed and something else is deflates, it's an exponential growth curve against each other. And so that's what's giving you this, like, this digital money eat the world thing, this whole ethos of digital money eats the world. That comes
Mm-hmm.
from the fact that something that is limited in amount but has all these immutable and transmissible properties will just eat the world on the basis that the value can just be absorbed into this thing that's whole. It sounds like an abstract concept, but just put simply,
No, it's
it's
not.
about
It's just because
yield,
there's
man.
no friction, right? There's no friction there.
There's no friction, and it's a self yield producing asset. So it's like not punishing you for being involved in the system, or at least it
Correct.
depends on which one we're talking about. If we're talking about Hex, it benefits you more. If you're talking about Bitcoin, it hurts you in some cases if you're not strategizing your timing of sales and all your OpEx and all this stuff, right? It's just a lot more that goes into that with the mining side and then the trading and having to leverage the two and whatnot. There's just more moving pieces over there. But
Yeah, of
Hex
course.
simplifies the whole thing and is way more profitable. So the future of the world is in these financial cryptos, right? Not the original ones that were created, I feel, but that's a whole other
Right.
story. But this digital scarcity thing, like again, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex, what do they all have in common? They all have a deflationary element to them.
Right. Real quick, actually, real quick. Just a little warning for everyone out there. Apparently, there's a scam live stream running when you type Hex in YouTube. So be careful, guys. We made it. However, we have made it. That's what that means. All right. My bad, bro.
There's a chart at 18, 18.2.
18 to you.
Yeah, I we're going up in a triangle right now. I
Yeah.
expect to test the top of the line overnight or in the morning.
Well, if we're gonna see any resistance, it'll be here.
Yep, like right here, when these bands are coming together and squeezing together. Mm-hmm.
But it's just not designed to do that. So we'll see.
Just not designed to go down.
Nah. I mean, it's very. No, we say that all the time, but it's very simple. It's just not. And it's a function of all these different parameters and the properties of the system and how everything works. It's just really designed to not go down. So every time people sell it, it's going to go up. And that's exactly what we see. And that's literally just a function, again, of all of the properties of the system. Because once you understand the design, right, and there's another nice little dump. Once you understand the design, the reality is that then you understand what you have to do in order to succeed in the system, right? But again, it depends on what success is for you, right? For me, it was attaining the most T-shares that I could at that point in time because that's what mattered for me and my strategy, right? So that's why I approached it how I did once I understood. So let's see.
So we've covered staking strategies. We've covered what gives Bitcoin value, what gives Hex value. It's the deflationary element. It's the element that not anybody can come in the system and just create more, right? Immutable.
Yep. So let's talk about time, right? Because that time element that we have on this plane is really important to understand. Most humans don't. It's finite, right? Meaning it's forever deflationary. And when you own something that's predicated on time, that means it's always deflationary. But people don't understand that because they hear that Hex has 3.69% inflation. It's actually incorrect. You're battling time. That's why it monetizes time. It's giving you a hack, but it's still not enough of a hack in reality because you can't even own that T-share forever or whatever it is, right? We're just talking about Hex and how it works. We're talking about, well, really it is just a T-share because that's a value proposition. But that's an important thing to understand, right? Because like, look at this comment. This is what made me like start off on this little thing here. Cheetah Weston goes, I have wealthy friends who don't understand crypto, but they sell every time they get a 20% gain. And that's common. That's common. That's exactly how people do in the stock market. People that don't really know what they're doing, they think the 20% move is big because they don't know. They don't really look around. They're just doing kind of whatever. So that's the kind of crap you see, right? And then sometimes it's just like that. Some people just bought a long time ago and they just, don't know any better. So
funny because like the whales just they kind of know how much liquidity is in the trading, and they'll just range bound it and then squeeze it until
Mhm.
a lot of the traders get underwater on both sides of the trade, and then they'll squeeze it one way and push it. So
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it sure does. Sure does. I
It's
mean,
like
it's just how it works, right?
yeah, it's like like every time you go up in price, you add more market participants, and then they
Hmm.
start. But these new market participants are very short sighted in a lot of cases. So you got to weed out. So with time, like you're literally weeding out the short term thinkers, thinking on a different vibrational plane, so to speak. They're thinking on a very in their like very short time frame, so they're easy to predict because of that. So you can always account for a certain amount of the liquidity that you need to have to weed out as a whale as you're moving the price up or as a group
Right,
of
right.
whales. And there's like a certain amount of growth that I'm sure that even like with your power of your chart that shows user adoption, you could kind of even try to extrapolate data off those and model out different things too. That's like when Will says that those charts are worth like good money, like they really are because there's so many things that he could make you a map reader and teach you how to read those charts, or there could be things in there that he doesn't even see. That's how
Hmm.
valuable
That's
they
right.
are. Hmm.
Yep. That's just a fact because I don't see everything. I just
They're
make the
showing
charts.
you different ways of looking at the same thing. This fourth dimensional like time piece.
Yeah,
It's
that it
crazy.
really is fourth
You think
dimensional.
it's a
It's
coincidence that Richard like is sitting on all those watches? Has anyone
can't
actually
be
even thought about that?
right.
Come
Probably
on.
not.
I don't think there's
We
any
got a good question
coincidences with
here.
that guy.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. We got a good question here though. From Daniel Hayes says, "Hey guys, I have roughly 3K in USD, and I guess some coin. I don't know what it is. Is it a good idea to flip it for Hex now?" Uh, Short answer is yes. Long answer is please do your own research and yes. What say you, Axis?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question again? I was reading chat. I'm sorry.
All good. I have roughly 3K in USD, and he wants to know if it's a good idea to flip it to Hex now
Oh,
from some
dude, you
other
should have done
coin.
that yesterday, bro.
Basically, yeah.
You could have bought the top a few days ago, and I still wouldn't have been mad at you.
Yep. Just remember, do your own research. And as you can see on this here chart in real time, dips don't last, bro. So, don't sleep.
That
When
was
you
very
sleep,
fast.
others creep.
Mhm.
So,
That's
we
what
see
we're
how it
talking
goes.
about that bid that shows up. It's just like you see this candles, and then it's like, and then you walk away for a little bit and come back, and like it just gets chopped right up.
I mean, it just goes back to the time element again, right? Hex is literally a representation of time and value across it, right? So, it's very, oh, look at this. There's a couple of different fake hex streams live right now trying to get peeps to send hex for airdrop. Wow. All right, guys, be careful out there. Hold on, I gotta
Don't be sending anything to any airdrop. There's no
let me
airdrop.
put this shit on Twitter, man, because people need to know.
All right.
Hold the fuck on, because
Well,
that's
then I
crazy.
can pick up the ball and just add with the time thing.
Yeah,
I mean, so what blockchains are blocks in time forever.
right,
So they're literally monetizing time. Like Bitcoin is also monetizing time because it takes time to produce more coins at a decreasing rate over time, which is what causes that curve. But yeah, so like but Hex does it in so many more ways with all the game theory and how many different dynamics you can take. It really gives you a lot of flexibility to like leverage different elements of the system to give you an edge on even your own positions. To just leverage you out with like just by holding with some liquid and having tons of stakes way out there. Because time is the most valuable thing that we all have. We all share. It's finite in amount, and with Hex, it ensures that the guy that commits for longer, is going to get these higher payouts. And right now, like the way that things are projecting out, like Hex is so undervalued right now. The upside of this thing could be we've been through this like a tons of times, but like I'm not kidding when I say that when we say vertical, we're talking like Like I'll even say it, like we will see next year a $10 swing on Hex. We will
Oh
see
yeah,
a
no
ten
doubt
dollar
about it.
swing next year.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Um,
No doubt
you
about
know, it
it.
might not be till middle end of the year, but I'm come back and check on this tape in a year. I'll bet you we saw a $10 swing.
Yeah, I mean, you
Because
know
this
this
thing has to go up,
thing.
right?
Yeah, it's just it's
It's violent
literally
force.
yeah, it's a beach ball. It's a beach ball. It's a beach ball, and I don't think people appreciate that enough. Hold on, cause this thing. That's why. All right. But yeah, I don't think people appreciate that enough. How much of a beach ball hex is, and it's literally designed like that. Uh, so you know, I know we talk about it all the time, man, but it's that important. You know, otherwise, I don't think we will be like harping on it so often because again, it's about that digital scarcity and what it actually represents, right? Because you can have a whole lot of different types of assets, but you know, the majority of them, and there are different types of assets, and the majority of them don't represent any scarcity, right? When in reality, when you sit there and think about it, the most scarcest asset on the world in the world is time, right? Literally.
It's also probably the most. I want to say it's the most fixed thing that we're all like have to kind of like
Battle
follow.
against. Yeah.
Like we all share the time that you know what I mean.
Yes, sir.
At the same
That's why it's so
time,
easy
on
for so many people to get behind Hex, right? I think that's why it's so easy.
yeah, and then on the
I
other
think
hand of
we
the
answered this
token,
question.
oh,
If we keep
well,
sending 5 5 5 5
so
folks.
I mean, it's different for everybody, but like for me personally, I'm at the point now where I like just doing like one or two stakes a year. For me personally, at with this state of the network on Ethereum right now. So yes, only five stakes, and I try to do it so that there's one a year, right, or two a year. Because there's I don't want to steer people away from staking, but if you've been in the system for a while, you know that there's huge leverage in holding a liquid position once you're fully staked. And when I say
For
fully
sure.
staked, like when you check your stakes, you feel good that you're covered in any situation over the span of your stakes. Like if you needed money tomorrow, you'd have some, right? So that means that'd be like your liquid bag. If you're not in that position, then you should only be investing a smaller fragment of your portion into a 5 5 5 5. So that way you're not like, having to emergency end stake your bag just to so there is a little bit of thought that has to go into the planning of that in the early stages as you're accumulating a position size. That you're not the only one. There's people. Everybody's going to be scrambling to try to get these positions in, and as price screams up to like rocket ships up to $1 because everybody's chasing those coins down, trying to get that yield. It's like a mad dash out there to get stake in this thing before the fork, especially.
Well, I mean, it's crazy, right? Because it's like, well, this is the funny thing. I don't know anybody that doesn't like free money, so that's kind of what makes me think that whoever's selling just doesn't have a clue what's going on, right? Because why would you give up $1 million? I mean, unless they just literally need the money right now, and we'll find out in 2 weeks for sure. But I'm hard pressed to think that that's the case. So
Yeah, you never know what you can never
yeah,
predict what other people are going to do, but you can predict that there's not enough sellers at this price floor. Or
no,
there's a lot of eyes on where these wicks are right now. That's all I'm saying. So like it's showing you right now on the chart. Like I don't know how to say it differently, but when you look at those sell-offs and then the wicks up, it's giving you an indication of the amount of momentum in the market, and that how many fish are right there waiting for the fishing line to just drop just deep enough where they're still safe. They still feel safe enough to bite, so to speak.
right?
But there's so many people that are going to feel safe buying here up a little ways because if you pull up, I should screen share Gerardo's chart.
Yeah, let me
Um,
know. Let's
one
take a
second.
quick
Let me
minute
get
here
this
to
stuff pulled up on
congratulate
the side.
Motley, though. Yeah, while you do that, I just want to take a quick second to congratulate Motley. He's in the chat. A big shout out to you, brother. I did a
And
little
brand.
time
And brand.
myself.
Oh,
And
we can talk about
oh
that.
well,
I thought you were talking
yeah,
about
I'm talking
retirement.
about no, yeah, I'm talking about retire. No, 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 we're gonna get the brand, but Motley first because he literally did some time.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
When you're in the
That was a
military,
cool
it's not
stream, by
easy.
the way.
Yeah, it was. Everybody showed up. Everybody showed up. But that's how we roll, man. It's real positive energy over here in this community. And that's how we keep it. We ignore all the rest of the nonsense because this is how we do it. I don't know about drama and all of that. I don't know anything about that. I know about positivity and progression, right? But real progression, because that's all we talk about over here. We don't talk about anything else. So congratulations to Motley. I know those 9 years probably seem like what the hell just happened, but they'll make sense in the future, man. You'll see. So a big shout out to you, brother. And a big shout out to Balia too, man. As a young man, he's 24 years old, basically retired already. I think he's retired already as of Friday. I think. Just
Yeah.
hit 2,000 subs on YouTube as well. So
And
big
also,
shout
I've
out to
been
him.
noticing that he's been getting a little more fierce on stream and going and stink or standing up, and I just love it, man. I love the new
Yeah,
attitude,
man.
man. You
Yeah,
got
man.
this.
You gotta. Here's the thing, man. And I know I'm kind of a bulldog and whatnot, but it's really simple. It's really simple. When you know you're right, you don't let people that are wrong act like they're right.
Yeah, just don't let people spread bad information, I think is the point,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, that's it. That's all. But the thing for me is that my whole life, right, I've seen nothing but that.
Mm.
So, it's like bad informations are us. It's all over. So, everything. If you don't know, you got to know somebody that knows, or you better learn yourself because if not, you're going to pay the price. So, it's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. You have to always be seeking out information. If not, you're gonna get left behind. I mean, look at the people that still think Bitcoin is new age technology. That shit is crazy. That Bitcoin was old in 2010. Like people need to understand that. Let me know. Say one, bro.
I'm ready. So we were talking about the price where it's at and kind of like the whale games that are going on and how the sellers are really weak and the buyers are just eyeing up those wick zones right now.
Man, look at that. Oh, that heat
So
map
what
is
we're
good.
seeing here is the 100-day moving average weekly. So what this is saying is like how hot the market is, right? And so if you can
Right.
just chill in these like yellow and low green zones, like we're cruising, man. We're cruising out of 45 right now. That's pretty cool. But then what I wanted to say about this particular zone that we're in right now is how it's actually less risky to buy now than it was even just a week ago,
That's
even at a
funny,
lower
but it's
price.
true.
And
Yeah.
so let's look at why, right? And Gerardo does a really good job with his charts. So thank you, buddy, for doing these here at lookintohex.com. So if you notice here, there's like a triangle here that formed. I wish this back box wasn't in my way, and I could draw on
Try
here.
to
That would be
zoom in a little
sick.
bit. Try to zoom in a little bit. Oh, maybe you
Um,
can take a little screenshot and draw it on
oh
paint.
yeah, dude, that's a great idea. I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
why
that.
not? Yeah, it's art
I might
time.
have
Why
to.
not? And shout out to the 200 people watching, man. We're an hour in, about 53 minutes in. 200 eyeballs on the screen. Well, 400 eyeballs on the screen. So shout out to all of you
Um,
guys
so I think I got to
stepping out
do
for
a
some
stop screen and
education.
a reshare screen. Hold on a sec here. Different tab here. What's it called? Snipping tool. Bam, bam. All right, ready. You want to send
Wait,
me back up? Yeah, I got to switch
my
over. I had to
bad.
switch over to a
I
different
didn't
window.
realize. I didn't realize. My bad.
So this is what I wanted to show you guys was like this triangle here. So at the lowest risk point to buy during this run up was right here, the lowest risk time to buy. And then it led to this breakout move, which was the 350% move, which got us into this newly formed like bullish down wedge or whatever you want to call this. It's like ding 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 ding, and this looks like it could be ready to peel. Um, it's just low. But my point is that let me get rid of this shit. This is I mean, relative to any time since the breakout, we're at the lowest risk time within this range.
Right. I see what you mean. It's a lower band. It's like the lower bound of risk
Institutional
at this
guys
point in time.
are looking at this floor right now, and they're saying we either have to short this thing and push the price down, which they can't do, or we have to dump a bunch of coins to push the price down, which they
You
can't
know
do
what
because they
this
don't
chart
hold any.
reminds me of? You know what this chart reminds me? It reminds me of the T share to Ethereum and T share to Bitcoin charts. It's kind of what it reminds me of. How the waves kind of move in that fashion, because it's like
Yeah.
you had that triangle, right, where you had that value being set there at that time. Now you have this higher level of value being set, right?
Yep.
That's
Like a
what this
floor.
reminds me of.
So then
Yeah,
what I
like a higher
anticipate
floor.
is one of these
Right.
potentially, but it would
Right,
be
because you had all this inflation coming out of the system at the beginning, so it makes sense for all this risk to be essentially exiting the system to a certain extent.
so like if you did see wicks like that took us down to lower prices down here. I mean, you'd be invalidating the structure, which means we'd be going
Right,
probably much lower.
right.
Um, and I just want people to remain cognizant that these markets can go down, but that's not what I'm seeing right now. But just that is a possibility. So just don't risk more than you're willing to lose in the short term, meaning weeks, not months.
Right,
Because if it does do this, I mean, it's gonna.
big time. Like
Um,
I honestly expect vertical move at some point in the near future. Like
what
it's
else can I show you guys?
not just up anymore. So
Um,
I mean, this is just crazy, right? Because who realistically just sells 5 million and think that makes any sense? 'Cause that's a 10% hit.
don't do it.
Say one,
Don't
bro.
do it. You're good right now. I'm just gonna try to look for something cool to put up. Um,
Let's see if we got
well,
any
see if we can see
questions
any other
here.
cool trends going
The
on.
chat keeps running away from me. I'm sorry, guys. I really suck with the chat. I'm sorry.
The sound of that rock. Yeah, it was the sound of a rocket. As a matter of fact, I have a hard time hearing because I'm constantly in a rocket jet and I just can't hear anything anymore. Like my ears are falling off.
Makes sense.
Um,
Congratulations, Bree. Damn, that's what I'm talking about. I haven't even done that kind of math yet. Maybe I should.
hmm.
So is that as you currently have it? Is that with the current quantity of coins you have now, or did you like do all the math and that's your estimate? Like, how'd you get that?
This isn't what I want either.
Yeah, that's it, baby. Most valuable asset is time. Yeah, you should be scared. It's not easy having a billion, bro.
This is kind of cool. The
Shit.
quarterly ROIs chart here.
Yeah.
Um, this quarter, the pink line here started off as being the most bullish we've had. Um, and it's just as I'm looking at this go along and knowing where we're at in the price chart, dude, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, I think this pink line could be our second highest, and maybe even the highest still, because like it's
Well,
just trending
yeah.
down slowly.
It's hard to say. What's the max on the orange on the highest one
The
at the
max
peak?
is
At the peak,
15, I think,
15.
15.63 or 15.63. I see here
Interesting. It's kind of nothing.
Q2
Yeah.
ROI 15x. That's nothing.
15x in a quarter.
15x from the start.
Yeah, because it's
Right now we're
ROI.
up
Duh. Right.
2.336x for this quarter already. We're up 2x this quarter already. Dang,
Right.
crazy, y'all. We're doing all right.
Yeah. Not bad
So
at
like
all.
we're just, if you notice here, like it just seems like it's steadier here in the middle of the cycle. You know, well, except for
Yeah.
this green line, that was pretty bad. That was a big payday, by the way.
Right.
So it's like clear. It's clear trend whether or not once you get to like the 40 days into this into the quarter, there's clear divergence here where the cycle can tell you whether you're going to end higher or whether you're going to go lower, and it's right at that 40-day mark. So far, that's played out, and the only exception
Right.
maybe is this orange highest performer line. So it's split. It's split 50-50 right now. So
Yeah.
so far it's
Yeah. It
playing
is
out.
like midway. Yeah.
Mhm. So I mean,
Yeah, it's interesting. Go ahead, bro.
what else we got here? What's going on in the chat right now?
Let's see. Bree says who's gonna dump all their EHEX into Hex on Pulse Chain? I don't know, to be honest, because all my stakes are like joints a lot. They out there, they're gone. So the Hex I got now is just gonna be duplicated anyway. So
All right,
don't know.
you want to put your charts up? I think we can. There's a lot of cool
Yeah,
stuff I
let's
want to
do it.
bring up in there. Yeah.
Let's do it. Why is this thing not working? Okay, why is the yellow not showing up? What's going on here? Okay, whatever. All right, guys. As always, well, we've already seen this live, right? I mean, this is what you've been staring at for like the past. There you go. All right, I think that makes the point. We'll keep it moving. Let's see here. Any economy. This is actually my favorite slide because
Hey, your screen's not shared. My bad.
shit, I forgot. Sorry, guys. I
By the way,
forgot.
psych.
Yeah, I forgot. Completely forgot. But yeah, I don't know about moving on my EHEX to PHEX. I don't know about that one. Because,
Not yet.
why not? Why, it's already hex. What's the difference? I don't know. We'll see. If I think there's a reason to actually move it, like if I'm checking a spread, because of course, I'm going to make that chart. Um, we'll see if there is something to do. Until then, hard to say. I don't see a reason to do it. I mean, we can hypothesize on why we could, but tactically speaking, I don't think there's a legit reason just yet. Even though we know the T-shirt rate is going to move up faster, right? We don't really actually know what's going to happen. So we'll have the data and we'll know what to do. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Tigra says, "Don't you think PX is gonna be very interesting for those long stakes?" I think
Yeah.
the PX is gonna
PX.
be more interesting for like all sorts of stakes, like short, long.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be
Yeah.
very interesting.
It's the most. It's
Um,
gonna be the most usable chain because you don't gotta freaking pay. It's freaking 3% and up for your transaction. Like it's crazy.
yeah, I mean it's gonna be a game changer for little people in the system for sure. And um, to Tigra's question, yeah, I mean the obviously with all the attention around Pulse launching is gonna move price up. Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
probably.
of course it is. It's gonna have to. It's just how it works. Markets work off of news, so that's gonna drive the price up. And then maybe after launch we get a dump because there's gonna be a lot of people that don't understand what they're buying, and that's just the nature of the beast. So we'll just come in and set that floor higher. No worries. Because we're good. We already know what we're buying. We're going to let them dump it and we're going to watch the show and it'll be fun. So, yeah, Diamond Dad, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Doesn't ever make sense, right? Yeah, but no.
Better now, I guess, is what I say.
Yeah. So, say you have 1 million pulse after launch. What do you think ratio will be after bots do their thing? I mean, I don't know. What's this ratio now? Let's do the other way. Since we're going to be swapping pulse for hex, right? Come on.
I don't know. My brain does not want to try and figure out the math on speculating how many the
Yeah,
ratio is
I
going to be for
don't.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is what it is right now. Who knows? I mean, there's no actual answer to give you, brother. Sorry.
Until
Um,
Pulse has a price, like you won't. There's no sense trying to.
until the fork actually happens, you can't even realistically hypothesize, and I think that's the hard part people have understanding because we can't even pinpoint a point in time that will allow us to do anything. Right? Like right now, the moment is fluid, meaning
The
it
only
hasn't
thing you
happened
can
yet.
do is look at what came before it, which was like Ethereum, which was it grew based on user adoption, and it's a smart contract network that has stuff on it that's already getting ported over, and it's all work going to be somewhat functioning over there on the same type of code. So with very little maintenance, teams can get their projects working on Pulse Chain. That's all the same, and I just think the adoption rate will be a lot faster. So there will be quickly big increases in price early. So like yes, there will be
Right.
huge opportunity in the first year or two on both Pulse and Hex over on PX. And probably a lot of those ERC20s that people couldn't use on Ethereum anymore that will now be usable on Pulse will probably move over.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, why wouldn't they? Question
Right.
from Cool Hand Luke. Love that movie, by the way. Do you see people swapping there? We already answered that question for the most part. Will that hinder EHEX or help EHEX shares? So what'll happen is if people do end up leaving that network in droves for the PHEX network, then the APY will probably go up, which is good for those of us that have 15-year stakes on the EHEX side. So have at it, guys. Thank you. Shout out to your dentist, bro. Glad he's happy. That's what it's about. Thank you, Black Dot. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. We're just
Yeah,
chilling,
thank you.
talking some good stuff,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
You should see what we talk about when I'm taking a shit, bro. That's crazy.
Mm. Stupid. You stupid. Oh,
Uh,
hey, if you guys didn't catch Motley's stream that he did today with that South African footballer, go check it out. Matt, someone other. I'm not
yeah,
good
man. That's what I'm
with
talking about. Getting out
yeah,
there and getting exposure.
yeah. I'm not good with the soccer names because I don't know the sport like that. But the guy is clearly popular. Check it out. Support Motley on this endeavor because he did it independently. He went on his own and got this interview. So support him. Smash that thumbs up. Share it with your friends that like soccer and get that bad boy pumping because that's what that's about right there.
Even soccer players like making money too. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, so we've already seen how this works in real time. Let's get a oh, they got mad. They must be watching the stream. Yeah,
yeah, they're pissed, man. They're like, oh, let's
they got
dump it
mad
on
at
their
this
head and
shit
make them look
talking.
like they're
Yeah,
full of shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Wait
yeah.
till they put the stream up and then pump it.
That's cool, man. They're gonna buy it back up anyway. Thanks
It's
again,
all
bro.
good.
We appreciate your efforts, man.
You got
You'll
to go a
learn.
little
You'll
lower
be
than that to hit my buy order, though.
yeah, basically. They'll learn. It's okay. It's okay. An exercise in futility is what selling is, and this is the thing that's hard for people to wrap their heads around because in reality, the only reason you should be selling hex is if you need to. Otherwise, you know, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
Again, this is literally the only asset class, the only one. Now sit here and think about this because we're talking about scarcity. Okay. Now we might have titled it digital scarcity, but the reality is that scarcity is scarcity. And whether digital or analog, time is the most scarce asset that we have. Period. As long as we're physical,
Period.
right? As long as we're physical, meat bodies or whatever, meat suits and shit, that's just how it works, right? So, understand what you own. Seriously.
Yeah, and
I
the
say
and
that
the
a lot.
and the key thing here with this thing is like, yeah, time is everything. Time is scarce. But in Hex, the guy that's first in line, his time is even more valuable, right? And
Extremely.
so valuable that when his time's up, he loses all of that ability to get that value back. And then what I'm talking about is the chi shares,
Yeah.
over the longer term. So but that ensures that he can't become like a god player in the system, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Got to. Got
but
to.
it also makes him hella rich though because he was able to acquire something of immense value before he became so valuable, right? And
Right.
the crazy thing is how quickly this thing does it. That's
It's
that's what's crazy. Like
well, you know what's funny? When you think about it, it's kind of not.
frictionless. It's frictionless, right? There's no friction, and it's like all on chain. So like people are on standby with their stuff sitting in their Ethereum wallet. So it's so easy to just execute a swap. So it's like
Right. Right,
Like
right,
everybody's
right.
like excited, right? And like knows
Yeah.
that this thing can only go. I speculate a lot on what people are doing, like thinking, sitting, how they want
I
to
mean, you
accumulate
kind
these
of got
massive
to, right?
positions. Yeah,
I think you kind of have to when you're playing this game because look at this guy. Look at this comment. This is relevant, right? Hex.LIVE says, I got a legacy banker in the day. Someone else must have told him about Hex because I told him 8 months ago, and he laughed at it. But apparently, he reached out to Mr. Softball today, right? Now, why is that? Oh, it's done too many X's for me to keep missing anymore. Let me reach out. I'm a moron. Yes, yes, sir. You learned your lesson. Congrats. Because capitulation is the only way. Because it's not about embarrassment. It's not about subjugation. It's about math, man. Nobody cares. Like, join us. We're here. We got open arms. We don't actually care. We just actually care that you understand what you're doing. Because that's the only reason to buy this is by understanding what you're doing.
I mean, just knowing what you hold,
Otherwise,
knowing what you
yeah,
hold, like, or knowing what
yeah.
you're missing out on too.
Correct, correct, correct. Because otherwise, you're just buying anything else, right? That's how I think of it. I think if you don't understand what you own, you're just buying and selling anything else,
Yeah,
right?
just trading. I don't think people. I don't know how people can look at that chart and think this looks anything like that.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
you
It's
should be
crazy to me.
trading. I just don't get it, but whatever. It's like trying to trade Amazon. Just buy and
Shit
hold.
is funny, man. Shit is real funny. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And people do trade Amazon. Like the one thing that all right, and this is a little off topic. Excuse me.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited to hear this. And then I just can't wait to see your
Well,
that
there's a
chart
couple of
later.
strategies that are good for income generation on the option side of things. And they're basically like selling options, is what you're doing. Now, of course, this is risky, so you have to do it in a spread fashion, right? But there's a way to do it that makes it riskless, right? And the whole idea behind the strategy is you would go on the short side because the short term duration option contracts expire quicker because the less time there is on the curve, the quicker that the time bomb, if that makes sense, right?
Hmm.
And that's important. And hold on, if you guys haven't seen this image that Crypto Kool-Aid is talking about, go on Twitter and find it because it's hilarious. I think I seen it on Twitter. If not, I'll post it there later because I know I seen that damn thing. Shit's mad funny. He's literally riding a shark. Literally riding a shark. It's just mad funny. Yes, bad information by design. And thank you, sir. We need to make, and this is why I think vocabulary is so important, right? I never try to mince my words because I know when we talk about these things, emotions get riled up. And the last thing we need is for emotions to get riled up in such a very sensitive topic, right? And we're really talking about the future of what the future could be, right? Like the future could be anything we want it to be, but people don't believe that. They think it has to continue this way, and no, that's wrong. That's clearly not the case. We have a prime example of that. And the prime example of that is something that we all looked up to for a long time, and now we look down to because people don't understand that things change. And that is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin came out as something that was created to help us and us being humans because we were being subjugated to a really shit system, which is the fiat system, right? And we all know this. We all recognize this. This is why we're here, right? So it's just about simply understanding what you own, right? What can set you apart for life from needing, right? From ever having to ask, from not being able to help, from not being able to give in a fashion that you rightfully want to, right? Like there's never been anything cooler than like Nerd Girl, for example. I don't know if you've seen this tweet, Axis. She told her mom that she made her a millionaire.
I
Imagine
did
that.
see that tweet. It's incredible.
How gangster is that,
That's
right? All she had to do was give birth, basically, and wait 36 years or however old she is, 30 years. I don't know how old she is. Maybe she's
yeah,
20
man.
something. I really don't know. I don't know.
It's
But
amazing.
imagine, right?
I was a
Like
little bit jealous, and I was very proud.
that's crazy, bro. I look forward to the day, right? Like that's something every
Wife her
child
up right
looks to
away.
do.
She'd be saving
Yeah,
me millions of dollars, man.
Every
Just
child looks to do that. Or looks to do something for
props
their
to you and
parent,
your
for the
girl
most
for
part.
doing that,
Yeah, for
and for your
sure.
mom. And I'm sure that's not the only
For
person
sure.
she's probably hooking up.
Nah, I mean, and I'm sure that's not the only person that does it. I know Freddie Quo's
Oh, I
got
know.
a car for his mom, right? Like
No,
people are
there's
just out here
oh,
doing things for their
Mexicans
parents,
are
bro.
taking care of their people.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly,
And I think that's what the point. The
exactly,
point was to make new
exactly,
whales and allow them to enrich their lives,
exactly.
and then create an army and take over the financial world.
Yes, sir.
Or wait, I don't
That's
know if
all
that
we're
was the
doing
intent
here.
or not.
That's it. That's it, baby. We just pumping. We just pumping. And this chart, let's just talk about this chart real quick as we go through the chat. It's just about any economy, and as always, any economy, no matter the level, whether it's municipal all the way out to international, is literally a pie. Meaning, you got the value creators, and then you have the value extractors, which is typically the portion of the economy that facilitates civilization, right? And that civilization is what we live through and live with and have to tolerate in order to live with amongst each other, right? Whether it's in a city or in a rural area, we share schools, common things, right? Like schools, financial services, infrastructure stuff, bridges, roads. We share all these different things, all these common spaces, and these entities, right, that all together create the public sector are there to facilitate these things for us. And in reality, it just hasn't been the case really for the past 50 years or more. And the world is now finally waking up to that fact, which is great. So let's keep sharing information. Let's keep sharing the facts. And let's keep doing the things we came here to do. Because the only way we're going to get any kind of good things happening is by people educating themselves, right? That's always step one, because you can't fight a fight when you don't know why you're fighting. That doesn't even make any sense,
Hmm.
right? That doesn't really make any sense at all. That's kind of like playing checkers and not knowing what you have to do. Like, you're not playing, you're just there. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So, shout out to Big K, brother. Hope you're doing well.
What a big hit.
And shout out to Marco.
Marco,
Hope you
thanks for the
guys are
super
doing
chat,
good.
brother.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat, bro. I don't know if we missed it or what, but I haven't seen that damn thing, man.
He said Molly is my lost brother, bro.
Yeah, I see it right now, but I can't pull it up in the thing. I don't know what's going on. I'm really behind on the chat. This is so bad. Yeah, I'm super behind. Wow. Yep, super behind. Thanks for the super chat, bro. But yeah, that's why I like to throw this chart in there so people can understand the mere basics of an economy, because it's really that simple. In reality, you don't have to know more than that. You really don't. Shout out to Joe. Thank you for coming through, brother. Um, that's really, really important, right? An economy is going to help. Understanding what an economy is there to do is going to help you make the decisions, right, that you need to make in order to make the right move. And this is why understanding that crypto is a move at this time is so imperative, because there's never been a point in time like this in our lives. And it's still here, right? Crypto has not blown up yet. It's only 2 trillion in size, and we have a long way to go. So that's great for those that are just getting here now. And it's even better for those of us that have been around and know what time it is, right? So, all right, we got a good
Game time,
question
man.
here.
It's
Yeah,
freaking
it's
game
game
time.
time.
Time
Yeah,
to
it's
let
game
everyone
time.
know.
Yeah, it's game time. So if nobody ever ends stakes, never ends a stake, does it sit in the system dormant, or what happens? So what happens is,
No.
you want to answer? Go right ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. That's the whole value proposition is that those stakes that are just chilling, they're paying the stakers. So I
Yep.
mean, if nobody ends a stake, then everybody's paying each other equally, I guess, because they're
Well,
all
what
bleeding
happens
out to each
is,
other.
yeah, what happens is that after 14 days, the system starts to knock off 1% every 2 weeks, or every week. I'm sorry, 1% every week. So after 100 weeks, that person is cashed out, and that's part of the penalties payment. So it's that plus emergency unstaking penalties. So those are the two little factors there that make up that sum.
Wales has a chart for that specifically on his website. So if you want to know the details of how the breakdown works for those penalties, He's got a
Oh yeah,
graph on his
for the end
website
staking.
for
Yeah,
the end staking.
it's wellsonly.com /, what is it called? Emergency end staking. Let's see, what the hell did I call it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yep, emergency dash end dash staking. So please go there. All right, so the market cap dominance for the top 100. The 10th of October, we were 3.62%, 4.16 on the 13th, 5.4 on the 17th, 8.22. Damn, this is as of last night. I forgot to update the data because we just started talking. Whatever, 4.9. But we're basically at the same price anyway. Don't really matter much. So first 615 days, today's day 616. But again, we're pretty much going sideways, so everything's pretty much the same. Index is at 86,738. This is how many times over 100 we've gone. So yeah, that's something. 262,000 for the T shares, and this is in the first 615 days of its existence. And this is all that Bitcoin has done in the first 615 days, 933.
And I love that you cleaned
Whereas,
that up, by the way.
oh,
That
thank you, sir.
Bitcoin
Thank
line.
you, sir.
Thank you
Yeah,
for doing
had
that.
to do it. It was ugly. It was so ugly. I was just like, let me just make it like that because it doesn't even
Beautiful.
matter anyway.
I love it now.
Yeah, I just
So
needed to
pretty.
capture this piece anyway. Um, ETH index is 4159, so we're clearly outpacing ETH 40-2 basically. So this is, or is that right? No, 20-1. Let me see something because now I'm confusing myself because I just can't do math sometimes. Right, equals 21.5. There you go. I'm slow. So boom, first 177 days. We are all right. So this is post big payday chart. So what was big payday? Big payday was this one singular event that essentially thrust out 30% of the remaining inflation from the system. Right. So what that means is that after that point in time, everything that the system was ever going to mint at that point, without anybody interacting with the network, that was happening on this point in time on November 19th. So the price ran up until November 1st, then it sold off into big payday because people thought that they were going to be able to end stake the day before, the day of, and all this. Like people were just doing all kind of crazy stuff to end stake at that time. And looking forward to that, Bree, in all honesty. Just because, why not? And, it's important, right? Because people always don't read directions. People always do the wrong thing. People always just don't pay attention. And
People always procrastinate and wait till the last minute.
yeah, always, 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 always. And that's important to understand because if you internalize that and act in accordance with that, you will always win. Always. You will never lose. And that's important. Because the world, right, while we are all here to help each other, we all know that in reality, we're all going to go about our business and handle our business how we see fit, no matter what. So we either take what we learn to heart or we don't, right? And
You
that's
gotta
pretty
learn
much,
yeah, you gotta learn. You
yeah,
gotta always be open minded, keep on learning. Yep.
yeah. And that's so true. Because look, I'm only where I'm at now because I took the time to open my mind and actually learn. I could have just been an ignoramus, bought Hex, and never staked it, and just that would have been that. That just would have been that.
Yo, we wouldn't
And
have ever made it to 20 cents in time if whales didn't start streaming.
probably, I don't know about all that, but that's an interesting thought. I mean, I don't think so, but that's funny. Imagine that. That'd be
Imagine
funny. I
that.
don't think so. Because, I mean,
No,
people
but
were
for real,
very
if
funny
the
at the time that I started streaming, that's for sure.
real talk though, yeah, they were, and we set them straight. But I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, all the people that it was streaming before us, like, those are the real warriors, the ones that were out here bleeding,
Right.
getting
Yeah.
stabbed in
They
the
were
streets.
dodging stones and
Oh,
tomatoes and all kinds of shit. I didn't ever have to do anything like that. Oh, no.
yeah.
It's been all sunshine and rainbows with me, so I
Salute
can't
to
say
them.
nothing about it. Yeah, I
Man, we
can't
just
say
hopped
shit.
in here after you guys did all the hard work. Let's
Yep.
go.
One
Let's get some
salute to
time.
them, yeah. That's why I always defer to the experts. I don't ever profess to be no streaming, like I just do this shit for fun on the side. Like, nope. Much salute to them because they, yo, like Hexo, that man was doing it every single day. Every single day. Could you imagine that?
Captain of
Could
the
you
ship.
imagine that?
Whenever Richard was taking a nap, Hexo would jump on, be captain.
That's crazy, man.
Uh,
Can't imagine that. This is a good question. Go ahead, man. It's all you.
do you think Pulse mainnet launch will bring mega attention? Yeah. We kind of touched on that earlier. So I mean, to go a little deeper on it, you're already starting to see a move in anticipation. I mean, people are talking now. There's like, people are mentioning that, getting hex on both chains and this and that. So I mean, smart money is already accumulated. That's why we ran up off the low, off off the 11 cent level. That happened so quickly because the Hexicans knew. They got in, they pushed the price up to this support right under resistance, and they were just waiting for some new action. Godwill hasn't showed up yet. Where's he at? He's probably coming up here in a couple hours. So just
Yeah.
sit back, kick him up. Hopefully you're
I mean,
positioned. If not, keep buying.
trying to remember how much did that
Pulse
guy have last
Pulse
I saw him?
mainnet. Yeah, huge news event. Huge news event.
Oh yeah, yeah, and a lot of people know about it. I mean, even people that weren't um, siding with Hex at the start are siding with Pulse Chain because they don't want to miss out on a repeat.
Yeah. Look,
And
Motley also
mainly that's
mentioned
it.
in his stream the other day that you hold ETH, you don't really get anything on from the fork. You hold Bitcoin, I don't think you're really getting anything for the fork. Like you sack some stuff, you got some pulse coming that you can trade in to other things if you want. But your best bet was just always to just have two hexes. Like, and I've been saying that since the sack phase, and that I think that thesis will prove true going forward once you guys see what PHEX does.
Right. Hmm. How about that? That's interesting. So only 10 to 15 million. I'm guessing USD on PHEX to equalize the price. So essentially, you better be within that first 10 to 15 million if you want to get any hex that's cheaper than the current price. So hope you guys don't plan to sleep.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
That was earlier when we were switching screens and shit. I did
Uh-huh.
not.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, that's gonna be epic. Could you imagine that? Everybody's T shares are about to be doubled. And on top of that, not only are you gonna get the blessing, depending on your jurisdiction, please speak with your tax advisor. I am not one. You're gonna get blessed with a not only a capital gain loss on the tax liability side, you are going to be blessed with a zero value, strictly capital gain tax on the tax liability side when you exit, assuming you ever exit, right? Like you can't lose. You're getting hooked up in multiple ways. Like
You
it's
can
epic.
exit the system if you want, but you're better off just leveraging it because you have a
Yeah.
trifecta right now where you have
I mean,
PHEX
look,
and PHEX and Pulse.
this is just 20 months in, guys. 615 days about about 30. All right, do that.
I mean, like and the thing also just the log chart's cool because it shows you what it's capable of, but you can
Yeah.
shrink all this down on the linear chart that it never happened. So everyone
Yep.
that's coming in, legacy or otherwise, is looking at that chart from the linear chart, and they're just seeing
Yeah, it's just getting started for them.
really strong structure being formed on the
Yep,
linear
because that's what it
chart.
looks like. That's what it looks like. Yeah, because it's just now jumping into those big digits, so to speak, versus where it started. So it's gonna look like it had nothing happening at first, but in reality, it grew like a
Hexicans will
flower.
remember, but most people aren't going to
Yeah,
know. So they're going to witness tens and hundred X's from a dollar price point and stuff, and
yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man.
they'll never know that there's sharks and whales out there with the kind of money they have. They'll just never know because those guys will never have to sell because they'll be sitting so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, the future is going to be crazy because it's really hard to say, right? Because we know how Hex functions. And based on that, it's kind of true what you say. Hex could just jump, hundreds of X's after $1. It doesn't have to stop there. Why can't it go greater than the value of Ethereum and Bitcoin? Why not? Because it actually does something, right? Like it's a legit business, right? And that's the thing that people don't understand. And no matter the economic mass upend in the system, how much you put in, you're gonna get out. Like that's the whole thing, right? Like if somebody comes in with 20 million USD and they stake it, they're gonna get that T-share worth, right? And while it might decrease the APY, it's gonna boost that price up, and they're gonna get that proportionate amount. But if they're smart, right, they're not gonna boost that price up. They're gonna take their sweet time entering, and they're still gonna stake, right? And whatever happens, happens after that. But the T-share count is gonna go up, the APY is gonna go down, and et cetera, right? But that's still 20 million USD is going to be reflected in the price because every transaction is going to lift the price higher. So the best thing that they can do is just try to freaking tiptoe in, right? If they're a big fish, that's the best thing they can do because otherwise the market's still going to jump because that's how it's designed to move.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's just what it is.
Yeah, you
That's
don't want to
just
be
what
on
it
the
is.
other. You don't want to be a wealthy person and be sitting on the other side of this trade right now. It is not a good feeling.
Nah, nope.
It's one of those things where you look at the when you get to the correlations chart. If you're coming from the legacy side, you look at that chart and you have like a pit in your stomach because you don't have that yet. Like your portfolio modern portfolio theory is like telling you your logic center, your brain is telling you like you should have been in this thing like already for a long time because that's how good the data looks. So those guys are gonna feel FOMO. If the guys that have been in the industry for 40 plus years are gonna for the first time feel excitement again because that's how crazy the data is. It's easy for us as Hexicans who get to experience the gains and being here every day to forget all that stuff. But for most people, they don't think it's possible.
Yeah,
Or
let's
again, they
answer this
don't
question
understand
real
it.
quick. I don't think there's going to be much of a post snapshot dump. I'm sorry. I think the dump is gonna come after the fork. After the net goes live is when I think we will see a dump. But that would of course be after a price run up. I don't think it would be just
Yeah.
as soon as it launches. Because there are going to be people, of course, that are going to acquire Hex or Pulse and they're going to dump it, right? Like they just sacrifice. They don't really understand what they're, getting themselves into. Everybody isn't knee deep in the YouTube and doing the research and all that. Like, let's be honest, right? It might be 20% of the whole holding community that might actually be, well informed in regards as to what they actually own. So, it's very hard to say, but you got to assume there's going to be a dump because that's the safest bet. And that's just my opinion. I don't honestly know. So I don't know. This is another good question, dude. How long do we think it's going to take Pulse to be congested with traffic similar to ETH? I think it's going to take a while. I don't think it's going to be congested to the point that, because Axes, do you know if the blocks are flexible? I think the blocks are flexible here.
Mm.
And they're like I don't remember. Maybe they're like a megabyte. Fuck.
Well, so
Nah, I
the
don't remember.
block time is 4 times faster.
Yeah, it's
So it's
third
like
3 second
3 second
average.
block. So you're getting 4 times the throughput.
Yeah,
And
it
the
might still be the same size.
no, I think actually it got increased by 4 times, but I just don't remember what that size is
Let
off
me
the top of my
see.
head.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But I mean, with that alone, you're not. I mean, congestion is going to be less of a problem in the
Yeah,
short
I think
term.
it's gonna be less of an issue. Yeah. Let me see. That's a
It really
sacrifice.
boils down to how many projects find value on that on Pulse Chain. I know that's a really cop out answer, but
It's true though.
like imagine like if Crypto Kitties like started up, or if like somebody started like some new bot trading software that started arbing the price over on Pulse. Like there's certain things that could cause the network congestion, but I don't know about actual just real organic user adoption. 5, 6, 7 years away from. And the thing too is like you're also gotta. It's an equation that also involves the network congestion on ETH. So rather than thinking of it like two separate networks, think of it more like a shared network, where
Yeah.
they can like be the network traffic will the load will be distributed amongst both of them in a certain ratio based on the usability of the network. So if all the actual activity is happening on Pulse chain, like if you took 75% of Ethereum's network traffic away, that still wouldn't overload Pulse. You'd still have, I don't know what the actual ratio would be, but you'd have plenty of horsepower left over there.
Right. I mean, would it have to be, right? Why would it just disappear? That's the
Well,
thing. Why would it just
four times
disappear?
faster and 4 times bigger blocks, and you're taking 75% of something that's like way slower and way less space. So yeah, there's
I
just
gotta find that link.
what we can't anticipate is how many new ideas are able to be developed on Pulse that weren't able to be developed on
Right.
ETH.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. It's hard to say. I mean, so if I mean, again, it depends on how quickly the network can adapt to the size, right? Because at first it's gonna basically be empty, and then over time, a lot of those dormant projects, like Axis was saying, are gonna obviously become live because why wouldn't they? They'd be foolish and not pick up free money. Um, so I would expect those, of course, pick up. Um, and why not? And that's the whole thing. It's hard to say because it would kind of be crazy to not unless they're just told not to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Kind of doesn't make sense. So we'll see. We'll see. It's an interesting notion, though, right? I don't think Pulse will get congested within year one. I think it'll take probably maybe 5 years, if that. Because it just depends, right? It just depends how quickly it grows.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard to say. It's one of those questions, man. Because what if they find a way while they're working on it now to expand it even further beforehand? What then?
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to say because it's not actually live yet, right? You never know.
Yeah, and the other thing too to keep in mind is there's plenty of room for other chains to come along to also help with that problem too. Like I don't imagine a future where you're just using Pulse chain. I imagine a future where we're
Interoperable for
transacting
sure.
on
Multiple chains, yeah.
literally probably like 20 solid smart chains at
Yeah, I
least.
can talk all the shit I want, but I'm a fair believer in multi-chain world. Yeah, it's just the way of the beast, right? Like you just can't expect people to stick to one thing. It's just not the way it
Well,
works.
people
Like
like
there's,
options and it when
yeah,
and look at
exactly,
you also need the redundancy, right? So like if
right.
one chain fails, you need somewhere else to go.
So yeah, to go to for sure. And this is something we didn't even allude to, which is thank you, Blaine, for bringing it up. Uh, a huge amount of EHEX has essentially been removed from the pool, so you even have a lot less to work for than ever before. So with someone on board me, I'm so confused. So what you
Definitely.
confused about, Uncle Larry? Ask away, brother. We're here to answer your questions. Why no more interest? So what the way it works, Daniel, is that the system just tabulates the max at 3,641 days. But the reality is that you're still receiving the payout every day over time. So in reality, your APY is still going up, right? Because in fiat terms, that's what's happening. And you're still earning more crypto every day. So it's still happening in crypto terms as well. So you're winning on both sides in reality. And on top of that, you'll be enjoying the price appreciation because that's what it's all about. So
And I think if I'm reading the question correctly, so
did I
you
read it
are still
wrong?
well, no, I think you're good. I just want to also add that you're getting paid between years 10 and
Yeah,
15 for sure. You're
yeah,
getting paid,
yeah.
but
You're
you're
not
just not
just not
getting the
getting anything.
bonus beyond what was the
Well, it
max
just
bonus was
caps at the
2010.
10 years. Is all it
Right.
is.
So you're just
It just
getting
caps at the 10
the
years.
max bonus for the years 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah, yeah. That's all it
So
is.
I
Like
mean,
you're still
again, you're
getting
still
paid.
getting paid every day, just like you normally would be.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing changes. You're just around a lot longer, so your pay increases a lot more over time versus
I,
everybody else's.
I think the thing to keep in mind with those longer stakes, why we talk so much about them, is because the growth that you see in the final years of like a 15-year stake is like magnitudes more than the previous 12, 13, 14 years of the stake. Like I think they
Right.
did the math. When I say they, Crypto Sparbook did the math on, I think in the final year of your stake of a 15-year stake, the account can 5x in coin terms, I think is what they
Right.
said. That's crazy.
Well, the interesting thing
Or in
is
in
that
return, in profit returns, not coin terms, in profit returns, it was 5x what it
right,
was.
right. Just in the price terms, because you know what's interesting. I made a little chart as I was playing around earlier, and what I noticed was that after all this inflation was getting pumped in the system, that's when you had the biggest. And Richard says it all the time, but I have the data that shows it. Um, what you see is a big price pump in Hex at the beginning of time, and then after big payday, you get this big spike, right? This big one-time spike right here where all the inflation is now out of the system, and then what happens is it dries up, right? Which is interesting. Maybe I should throw that bad boy
Yeah,
up in
put
the
that
deck.
chart up, man, for sure. I think
I'll
it's in
have to
here.
make it pretty. No, I don't have it in here. I have to make it
Oh, you
pretty.
don't?
Give me a second. No, I'll make it pretty real quick. I'll make it presentable. I'll dress her up. Give me
I
a
thought you
second.
had it in there, bro. I thought it was on there earlier today.
Nah,
I could be wrong.
nah. I just sent you the screenshot. Is what it was. I'll just throw it up real quick. It's no biggie. Real quick.
All right.
It'll just take a little while to throw it
You can
into
kind
the.
of see it represented in the T-shares market cap
Yeah,
chart, sort of.
yeah. So what it is the minted inflation versus the actual chart, versus the actual price of Hex. And what's going to be shown is that over time, at the beginning, the biggest price pump happened at that time. And it shouldn't be any surprise. Richard says it ad nauseum. I mean, I'm sure these guys tired of saying it. And I'm just going to be the guy to show it to you graphically. That is all. You're all welcome. Give me a second. Because this is actually cool. I didn't really think it would come up, but shoot, why not? Let's see. Minted inflation, where are you? And again, shout out to the homies at Hex Daily Stats, man, because they just got me pumping out some pretty sick
David's
charts over
question's pretty
there.
good, huh? Yeah, it said
I'm not in the I'm not in the chat. I'm in the spreadsheet.
you
Sorry,
have it
read it
up
to me,
here. It
please.
says think you're going to see such a big rush to PHEX in the beginning that the hidden play is actually going to be
Yes,
EHEX.
yes, yes, yes. I agree. I agree. I agree.
You know,
It
anyone
only
that
makes sense,
ditches,
right?
yeah, anybody that just like tries to abandon EHEX, trust me, somebody will pick up your bags.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt about it in my mind. I mean, there's still value there, so I don't know why we have to act like there isn't any. I mean, there's still value there. So let's see. I don't know. So with this label, let me see what this label is saying. 9.74 minted inflation. Yeah, that's wrong as hell. What is this? Let me get rid of this. But yeah, man, it's interesting because what you then see is across time is just so much like hex being pumped out of the system. Interestingly enough, even though we're seeing all these sales, right? And a lot of these sales, what the hell is this picking up? Why is this reading like the yield? What is going on here? Um, Let me just run this again. Not understanding what's going on. I didn't go to the right thing. That's why. Okay, now we're good. Yes, sir. This is it. Archie blows. So yeah. So the interesting thing is you see all these sales happening, and you think there's so much liquidity out there. But you guys are going to be shocked when I show you this chart and you see what the system is actually pushing out. because that's important. It's important to know the facts, right? It's important to know what's actually going on. So when people come at you, they just look foolish, and you're just laughing at them because I mean, you can tell people the facts all day, but as we know, it doesn't mean anything. And people are just still gonna have their own preconceived notions of what reality is. But what you're about to see is exactly what Rich has been talking about, for freaking 20 months. And it's going to be great to see. And interestingly enough, you can actually see it in the APY as well. But unfortunately, I can't throw both of those up on the chart at the same time. So we'll rock with it as is. As is. Give me a second because I'm almost done. I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it in a PowerPoint and just show it that way so we don't got to deal with the website. It'll just take too long. All right. Well, it doesn't matter where it's at. Bam. All right. All right. There you go. So you can barely even see because of the Jesus. Why does it look supersized like that? Hold on, guys. Let me see what's going on here. Why is it so damn? Why is it?
Why did it shrink down the bottom? Or
I don't know why it's like you can't even see the edge over here. I know it's not that damn big of a freaking chart. Yeah, it's not. Fucking annoying. Anyways, that's minted inflation on the right side, and as you guys can see,
you want to
it
get rid of
runs
that
up.
chat box at the bottom there so they can see the bottom of the
Oh
chart?
yeah, sorry,
Okay.
sorry, guys. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that, guys.
Sweet.
So as you can see, it's just like Richard says. Before Big Payday, you had a ton of hex being minted by the system, and that's when you had the biggest price pumps in hex, right? And now there's so much less being minted by the system, as you guys can see most recently. 5 million hex was minted as of yesterday. It's just not enough to sustain the system. And over time, right, people are going to be able to only buy but so much hex. So that number is going to decrease over time unless big whales come in and just hook it up, right? Because that's really not a lot of hex. It's really not.
Right. Most of that stuff's like delayed way out in the future, at
Correct.
least 5 years.
Correct. And this is a sign of exactly what we're talking about when we say that, um, you know, deflation is or the inflation is deferred over time. This is the inflation deferred over time. So I hope it now makes more sense to people because this is exactly how I view it. It's like a flat piece of paper to me. It's like it's irrelevant almost
Hmm.
because over time it's almost like there's nothing coming out,
Yeah.
right? It's like whatever, you know. Um, yeah, and I feel like that too, man. So don't feel no type of way about it. So I
We
got
all have a
crappy
few of those, right?
steaks. Yeah, we all got a few of those crappy steaks, man. That's just the nature of the beast, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so
Look at the
yeah,
bright
this is
side. Hex price will go to like $50 next year, and you can sell some.
right, man. Jesus, it's crazy because I mean, look at what Hex is doing now already, right? Already, and nobody even knows about it.
Yeah, the
Oh,
log
I
chart's
haven't.
crazy, man. Like pure craziness.
Hold on, let me make Children of the Grave a moderator. I thought he was. But yeah, it's really crazy, right? It's really, really crazy because we're still a long ways away from. Ooh, Sorry, guys. We're still a long ways away from. There we go. From. Am I even? Oh no, I gotta get logged in. I don't think I can do it, bro. Let's see. Probably not. But yeah. There's not enough coming out, right? Yeah, no, I can't do it, bro. It's not enough coming out, so it's important to understand that because that's a function of. There's gonna be a function of demand over time, right? And as we know, thanks for the super chat, brother. Let's see. You a fool, bro. Shout out to my boy Purple. Shout out to my boy JL. They were streaming right before we started this. And thank you for the super chat, land American crypto. Where's that thing at? Yeah, here it is. Thank you, brother. Just for fun. Appreciate it. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Why not?
Look at this chart, man.
Dude,
I'm
look at the
literally.
like look at the V1 chart and just do a measured move and then do that again. Just do it.
All right. Let's.
Just copy the chart over. I just want to see like what that would be, just to give us a range, you know?
Just do it. Just do it. Let's shut this fucking guy up.
I mean,
So,
it's
oh my bad.
crazy. It's like you
You
guys are
want this one,
crazy.
right?
I
Like
mean, you
this
just
move,
copy that.
right?
You could just freaking bars pattern that bitch right over, and it would be
Yeah, but
two
I
hundred
just want to
seventy
get the
dollars.
percentage. I want to get the percentage move because that's what we're gonna
Oh, for
replicate.
sure.
Eleven
Percentage move.
thousand 400%. Okay, so we're gonna take it from here. 11,400% from here.
From there?
From
Yeah, let's
where?
do it. Yeah, that's a good spot. I mean, it looks like a major breakout zone, you know?
Yeah, it does. It looks like the start of that breakout of the network effect, right?
Well, for sure. And yeah, I think our chart that we're going to show later shows that and the amount of users that have been onboarding.
Eleven
Quite
thousand
impressed.
four hundred percent is at. Oh, no, that's 104,000. Hold on, let me rein that back in there. Sorry, guys. A little ahead of myself. A little ahead of myself as usual. $4.
Yeah. Well, if
Not
I
too
go,
bad.
if you go to the all-time low to the breakout point you're saying, then you're looking at
Oh, okay. Let's do
28,000.
that. Let's do that. Okay. I wasn't looking at it like that, but sure.
No, you don't
Okay,
think that early prices?
70,000. 70,000 isn't too bad.
There you go.
So now let's see. Because again, this is all mathematical. It's symmetrical, right? As above, so below. It already did that here. Why wouldn't it do it up here?
Right,
Right?
with less liquidity and more users. I mean, why wouldn't it, right?
Correct. And that's what it's about. 70,000 is given. I don't know why I'm stopping at 2021. Interestingly enough, I have a stake ending the day before then, so hopefully I'm lucky enough to be able to retire thanks to this price move. Come on, Hexagons, let's make it happen. Now let me stop. All right, 71,000, $28.
There you go.
Right
So,
around our boy Gunther's infamous $29 target.
mhm.
So completely makes sense, huh? Funny how all those numbers line up.
It's
I
just
don't
about the
think that's a
timing.
coincidence. Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence, bro. That's interesting. That's interesting. Huh, wish I had him on here right now. Fuck.
Mm.
Just to talk about that, because that's interesting, right? How symmetrical all of that is. Because look, the pole kind of ends right there. It's really not that far off. I'm
Mhm.
just missing that little bit of that up move right there, right? Right above that breakout point. Excuse me.
Yeah, to me, it seems like it's robotic almost.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it's program money after all, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's excuse me. It's hard to conceptualize what that means, but I mean, it just means what it means, you know? Program money is just designed to do one thing and engineered to do one thing, and that's it. You know, $28, baby. $28. So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. So let's get back to this here chart because this is critical. I really need people to understand how important this is. This is how much inflation is coming out the system all the time now, which is not a lot, versus before, which was a lot. So now, what this means is that any price pump we have is going to be legit
Hmm.
because it has to be, right?
Well,
Because
yeah,
there's a
because there's no funky actors. All that funky actors are there's no wow factor, no draw there. There's no big payday event, right? Well, wait,
yeah.
yes, there is. There is called the Pulse Chain launch fork date.
Oh,
You might
I
bring
don't
new
know.
actors in that will behave similarly, which gets to their point earlier about a post dump potentially.
Right, right, right.
You know,
It could be end of year. $4 in the year would not be a bad price target. It's not 10. It's not 1. It's not 2. Where would that be on the log scale? Let's see. Let's
mm,
entertain Marion's end of year target for a little bit. Let's see. Mm, 86,000 is 18 cents. So $4 would be how many X's above this? Four. Well, let's just do 4 divided by 0.18. Oh, did I just turn it off? Yeah. Oh, what just happened?
I don't know, man.
What is going on here? Oh, it's probably because I didn't put equal. Whoops, my bad, bro. Fuck you all up, huh? 22x from here. That's it. Come on, man. Damn, I just can't see Hex not doing more than that, man. All right, we can do 22x. That's fine.
Did
Yeah, okay.
380? What was it 380x last year? I can't remember anymore. There's just so many X's.
Yeah, 385. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like 385 last year, 22 this year.
So many X's. What a problem.
Our math skills aren't that good.
So many X's, bro. But 22x. I mean, okay, so that puts it at 86. So let's do 87 times 22. The 1914. All right, so about 2,000. So right around that 2,000, or not 2,000, 200,000 barrier, right? 22x, no, it's 1.9 now. That's too damn high. Man, can Hex run up like that? That's fucking crazy. 1.9 million? That's 22 times 86,000.
Hmm,
That's kind of
dang.
fucking outrageous, no? Every time I
Mm,
think Hex is telling me something crazy, it's just right anyway.
yeah.
Okay, so
You can look
22x.
at it that way, or you can look at it like more from what you were saying earlier, like just strictly post BPD, because really what came before was just a whole other
That's
market.
true. That's true. That's true. Can't really call all that. That's true.
I mean, it is and it isn't, right? It's like you got to take the whole data set for
Yeah,
some theory, and then for other theory, you need to just go from where the market really started.
but this is why we look at the minted inflation, right? So this number here highlights all the inflation that was minted on the system for that day, and maybe I should highlight that. Give me a second, because I can fix that and now even move with the chart. As long as PowerPoint decides to work. Fuck face. Data label. Come on.
Bitcoin's going for it, dude. Bitcoin just tapped 50K.
Good for Bitcoin, man.
Let's go. Good job,
Good
Big
for
Daddy Bitcoin. Old
Bitcoin.
grandfather Bitcoin.
Good job, Bitcoin. Somebody gotta buy that shit.
Dude,
As long as they're not buying this.
imagine buying Bitcoin at 30,000 and not even 2xing your money yet, and it's up $20,000.
Yeah, I'll be pissed, bro. Oh my
Hexy kids are like
god.
looking at that like, what?
Yo, be pissed, bro. Like pissed. The whole main reason I was looking for this type of investment or was looking for an investment was to multiply my gains in X. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with people? 2X. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, um, so we see on that day how much Hex was minted, i.e., came out the system and was available for sale, right? All in that one day. That's what this is saying. Because I was minting inflation on that day. So on that one day, 81.8 billion hex came out the system. That's a lot of hex, right? And that dragged the market down. And once that came out the system had to find its way up and out. And that's all we've been seeing ever since, right? Just
Pretty
a,
much.
yeah, a lack in supply, really. I mean, it's gonna be constantly the case.
I mean, everyone that I talk
Because
to is accumulating right now.
exactly,
They've
bro. I
been
mean, it's
accumulating since as far as I can remember.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, forever. I mean, look, already. Come on, man. Get out my face, man. Dumbass. Anyway, so here's exposing payday. So let's say 3 times 22, like I said. Yeah, we can do 66,000 on this. That seems more feasible. Why not? We already dusting Bitcoin in every other aspect. All right, so this chart, HEX.LIVE payday, as you guys now know, was the one singular inflationary event that the system was going to produce. As you guys just saw, everything after that is a function of the end staking. That's it. So this is how much Hex is coming out the system on a daily basis based on the staking. Okay. So, excuse me.
Deferred interest, so they're not
Deferred.
necessarily can sell it. So keep
Sorry.
that in mind.
Deferred. Sorry. So this chart is showing the first, second, and third halvings of Bitcoin and how their price performed after that point in time. So as you guys can see, we only have 185% here over, so 85% over 100, which is the base. Here we have 424% over 100, which is the base of the third halving. And here we have 1,012, which is just 912% over 100, right? Which is the first halving. But Hex is at 3,528% rounding up over its first 100. So it's just all in up. It's just up there, man. I mean,
Interesting
Hex
to
is
note
just
also with
yeah,
the Bitcoin halvings, what's coming up on those three halvings is actually their largest spikes up in their cycle. So it'd be interesting to see
yeah.
how Hex's spike up will look.
Well, I wonder if it's gonna actually ever spike up.
It looks
Makes
like
sense.
it looks like it tries and then it just gets so far so fast that it retraces
Yeah, like I feel like it can't because we'll get to the chart.
because it's tethered
I
to
feel like
T
it
shares,
can't.
right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it can't, right? Because it's tethered
Yeah.
to T-shares. That value
It's like
proposition keeps it tamed.
how do you put it? Like a like a what are those balls that are connected to the string? You swing them back and forth, but they're still tied to the same point.
I don't know what
Like
they're
it can
called.
go in
Yeah,
360 degrees around, but
it's
it is
like
always going to be
pendulum balls
pinned.
or whatever, right?
Yeah, like pinned to the pole, but like the pole is moving through time.
Yeah, and I thought I was crazy. I wish, bro. I wish. Yeah, I need to get me some Modelo's after I'm done talking to y'all. I always too lazy to get food before I stream. Mo, that's why I'm usually when I'm late, by the way, because I'm getting food. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna get some food real quick because I'm not gonna eat. But tonight, I just said, fuck it. Let me just stream, and I'll eat after. And I'm glad I did because this has been a very great conversation. It's
Indeed, brother.
always fun to talk about the mathematical facts, right? Because people are always gonna have an opinion. Yo, yeah, bro, we gotta do another one. You
We might
stupid.
be getting a guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could do another one, man, anytime, bro. Yeah, I mean, right now it's already 10:30. I don't think anybody's gonna show up right now, but we'll see. We'll
I got
see.
it. I just got a message.
Oh,
Here.
okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, no rush. Yeah, this is probably the guy we're waiting for.
Yeah, it might be the guy. Might heard something.
might might be
Great.
might be the guy. We'll see. We'll see
Might
who
be.
shows up. We'll see
I
who
don't know.
shows
You
up.
never know.
Yeah, you never know. Never know around here. I mean, again, this is what's so cool about the Hexagon community, right? Everybody jumps on everybody's streams and shows support, and this is what adds value, right? This is what adds value because this is what it's all about. Oh shit.
Yeah, I love his TA. It's awesome. I always like watching his stuff.
I think the interesting thing about TA is that it's always valid, right? No matter who says it, I think it's always valid because at the end of the day, um, it's only valid until not. right? So that means once it gets validated, meaning the price moves against the call, then you're good, right? That's literally TA, by the way. It's not more complicated than that. So
Hmm. It's
let's see
setting
what
up,
we
waiting
got
for
here.
certain triggers to be hit, and then setting
That's
up,
it.
and then taking your entry when you get multiple confirmations of confluence of the same idea. It's all trading is. But I know it sounds like it's definitely easier to say than it is to execute for sure.
Yeah, for sure it is, man. Because having patience is not a human trait. No, no, no. Some of us might have it, but not a lot of us. So here's a good one. Yeah, Daily Hex Daily Stats definitely has this one. We can go there right now just to confirm. HEX.dailystats.com. This is one of their first. Yep,
Ran.
3,205x.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sick, right? Sick,
Yeah, I didn't
sick,
get the
sick.
all-time low. Did you?
Hell nah, bro. I found this shit at day 330. You get a damn thing. I got a pat on the back for fucking streaming.
The best claim to fame I can say is that I was at the computer in the adoption amplifier the day that you could have got 1.8 million hex for 1 ether, and I had 1 ether in my
Wow.
wallet, and I didn't do it.
Wow.
Huge
Wow.
regrets. Huge regrets.
Wow. I'm sorry,
Feels
man. I'm
bad,
sorry you
man.
have that.
Bad,
I'm
mad
sorry,
Pepe.
man. Wow. If that rate stays true, then Hex will be 110 by the time my stake ends this year, December 20th. Yo, that's insane, man. Do you understand what you're saying right now?
So yeah, so like I know this is probably not out of character, but like I totally could see something so crazy like that because from what I've been seeing and saying is that
I don't know about that, man. That would be insane, man.
it
Come
would
on,
be it's a
$110?
lot. It's a lot, right?
Man, come
And it
on,
would be
man. You
and it
talking
would
about the
be it would be it
highest?
would be funny getting that high, right? It'd be funny in quotes.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
could be done. But I would say that's unlikely.
I
Unlikely.
mean, look, I'm not flooding my own bag. I'm just saying, realistically speaking,
Just give it a
from
little more time because
zero,
you got to understand what the
yeah,
implications of $100 hexes and
yeah.
T-share terms. Like, are you really? Do you want to really seal the proposition from everybody to even?
That's a
They can't
million
even.
dollar plus T-shirt
Yeah, I
guaranteed.
mean, 18,500 times. What is it? 110.
Wow. Yeah. I don't even know, bro. I can't
Two
even imagine
two
that
mil
number.
$2 million T-shirt, bro. Just think about what you're
Yeah.
saying there.
Yeah. That's crazy. If by 10, like, yo, wow, that would be a major run. That would be a major run. So, as much as I would like to say, yeah, I just don't think it will happen right in 2021. I mean, by 2023 or at mid 2020 or by end of 2022, mid 2023, yeah, I can see that shit. Yep. Because Bitcoin was already at $30 by 2012, wasn't it?
Mm,
Every time I look at it, it was relatively quick. It wasn't that long. Let me look.
yeah, it was
Um,
fast. I like the BLX for that.
I like
The OG chart,
yeah, the one with
the
all the
green
data
one.
points.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can never remember the damn link.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I always gotta look for it. Always kills me. Let's see.
Uh,
Shit. Let's see here.
It's, I mean, the other one, good chart to compare is Gerardo's chart too. That has it right there too. You can compare them side by side.
Oh, that's right. I just like to see the $30 one. Just a $30 number. That's all. Here we go.
BLX.
All right, because this is 30 right here. So let's just zoom in from here.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Look how vertical those
This,
moves are, man.
this is damn. This is only 2 years in. I guess it could happen. Fuck. Well, not
Yeah.
$110. That's too much. But definitely two figures.
Yeah.
Right. 6, 9, 20. That was less than 2 years in. Because Bitcoin was it was came into existence and well per this chart. See, this chart doesn't contain everything. That's the thing. Because it actually came into existence in January 2009, but this is only showing the Liberty Exchange, New Liberty Standard,
Hmm.
At that time, that was the only place you can get it if you even knew about it. And this was in October 2009. And if you can check out the Wayback Machine, you can see that they have like a few months of data at most there still, but that's about it. They don't got that much data. But yeah, man, just $30 in 2 years, basically, because it's a year and a half, really,
A year
right?
and
And that's
29 days
just
from July
yeah,
10th. It was July 12th of 2010. That summer to the follow to 2 years later was June of 11, or 1 year later, June of 11.
1 year later, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a function of the liquidity at the time, bro. There was no liquidity, right?
From the low to the high, you're looking at 100,000% on that move. And that Hex has done way better than that already.
Yeah, which is
So
crazy.
that on its own is unbelievable, really.
I mean, I
I think
think the
everybody in crypto
hardest
is probably
thing,
scratching their head.
yeah, yeah, because the hardest thing to do is wrap your head around how something starts with so many zeros. And yeah, Bally, we're gonna definitely do one soon, bro. Where the hell is tweet his message go? Gordon, money thought line. Whoa, there's a Japanese, a Chinese, a Korean. Nah, that's Chinese. The Korean spam in the chat. Hook me up, folks. Thank you. uh, yeah, that was rock bottom. Yep, that's a fact, bro. That is a fact. D'Artagnan, a fact. Where the hell is Batty? His message? Ah, yeah, Saya. We need to do another one soon. I was actually just thinking of that earlier. We haven't done one in a while. We only did that one. We only did that one. So, well, no, I think we've been on a couple, a few online, a few. Yeah, we gotta pick up the pace again. Can I be a well for a day? Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, that's it. That's all it is, man. X is funny. Yeah, man, these numbers are crazy because this chart is real, right? This chart is real. We're already seen this. It went all the way up here, right? All the way to 65K. So don't discount a future that you don't know. That's what I did, and that's my message to you
Dude, that's
and
awesome. That takes
everyone.
a lot
Yeah,
of you know, putting your ego aside and admitting that you were willing to be wrong and look into something.
yeah, yeah. I could have. Definitely right. I could have still been bitter, been like fuck crypto, blah 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 blah. But no, I came back to it every time. Every time I thought it was an opportunity, I came back because that's the only way. I remember when I was young, I would be the kind of person that would be like, "Oh no, f that, blah 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 blah." But no, that's not the way it works. You're gonna
Mm.
stay in the same position with that frame of mind. You're never gonna progress in life. So now how we roll out here. Yep, know how that feels. I think about that often, right? When it's like, what if you would have had X on X day? Like, man, it's crazy. Yep, that is correct. So if you're new and you're for some ungodly reason still making sacrifices to the sacrifice wallet for Pulse at pulse.info, which is the only place where you can go sacrifice for Pulse. Pulse.info. Maybe I should add that to the banner down there. Then you will still get a piece of the pie at the respective daily rate at an increase of 5%. So, do the math. I don't know because I'm not keeping any track anymore. So, that ended for me on August 2nd. Not sure why people are still sacking 20 days later, but what do I know? Just a noob. Moving along. I
Pleb,
need a.
pleb, pleb.
I need $833 to hit $1 billion valuation static calculation. That's crazy. Oh,
Possible,
yeah, it
possible. If
is.
you're
I
in the
mean,
camp that
even
believes that, oh,
even I was gonna say I don't know about that one, but of course it's possible. We got Bitcoin and Ethereum at 60,000 and 1,000. Of course this is doable. What is wrong? right? This is the problem.
Definitely, man. I I always compartmentalize the OA portion of the supply and just know
Mm.
that that's chilling. And then I just think of the market from a smaller perspective. It's just better to do that. It's
Yeah,
healthier to
I
do
don't
that.
think about the supply. I try to, interestingly enough, but I honestly just think about the dynamic of the coin and the utility of it because of what kind of coin it is. You know, while there is a reason to buy this coin, the question is, no, we don't have any idea on a snapshot date or a ballpark because there is still no private test net. So there is no public test net. There is no assumption to be made, Saya. Sorry. But just be patient because if you want anything like Hex, you just gotta be patient. No rush on our part. Welcome, inviting freedom. Thank you for joining. No
What's
worries
going
on being
on?
late. Let's see here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
T-shirts are almost worth an ETH now.
yeah. I mean, this is as of yesterday. I think the price might be up a little bit. Oh no, it's a little bit down. See what the T-shirt value is as of now. I don't even know what address this
Ooh,
is. Believe it or
quadruple
not.
threes.
Oh, nice. 3,333. Almost like 5,555. Cool. But again, right? Like they're gonna keep selling, and Hex is gonna keep chugga along. They'll learn.
All about that
So
magic deferred interest,
t-shirts,
baby. I like that
yo. I
word, man. I
mean,
never thought of that before. This perfect way. That's the word I've been
yeah.
missing in my
I
vocabulary for a while.
It's this chart, dude. Like I always saw it in my head, right? And it makes so much sense because it's true, right? Because what's happening is across time, that inflation that's coming out of the system is minimal. It's only what's expiring that day and whatever is on the market that is possibly available for sale. Not even available for sale, but possibly available. Meaning we won't really know. So,
Yeah,
it's
most of that's
important
not,
to
most of that. But so the other thing too, Wales, I want to remind them is the correlations when we get to that chart. The 55-day rolling correlation, ever since we broke out above 2 cents and went to 6.5 cents, it's
hmm
been basically 100% correlated. It's been like
yeah,
0.99 or something.
yeah, yeah. Ever since
And
the breakout.
so what that's telling us is that literally all of the buying going on is people that are invested in the T-share system and for an average of 5.7 years. So it's like that interest is deferred. So you're actually getting much less. The people that are going to be dumping on us are going to be guys that
We're
have
gonna be
just
buying
basically,
higher
I mean,
later.
in the short term, or the price goes so high that they can afford to EES and still pull out. So they're going to need some seriously higher prices to be incentivized to do so.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I can't wait to get to $1 because those emergency end stakes are gonna be so glorious.
Oh, oh, remember we used to say a couple like back maybe like a few months ago that if you survive the first like quote unquote bear wave, which in Hex probably will look more like just a year of sideways and 100% range,
Yeah,
if you can survive that next wave, the glory that will come after that and that next like 1 to 2 year uptrend, like oof, I mean that's really where like you go from being like never having to worry to like you can change nation states.
but
It'd be insane, man. A lot of
it is
wealth
gonna be
created.
insane because it's gonna be eye opening for people that are just unaware, right? Like this is almost like like a power grab to a certain degree, as and excuse my language because I'm not about that, but there comes a time where you got to play the game if you want to fix shit because it's not gonna happen by fucking
Green lights.
letting other dipshits do anything because they're just not right. We already are well aware of that, so
Mhm.
it is what it is. Man, people are finally doing what they got to do. It's just knowing your rights, basic rights, calling them out, letting them know they're dead wrong. Because when you act inhuman towards another human, that's what's gonna happen. Pretty straightforward. So here we got Tisha as the ETH. and T-shares of Bitcoin. T-shares of ETH is in pink. Bitcoin is orange. 6.5% versus Bitcoin, and basically parity, 98.5% versus ETH, and just sustaining value as always. And here we have the dynamic hex stock to flow tracker, and we got $30,500 T-share versus the cost of 10,000 hex, the dollar cost of 10,000 hex of 1,885 hex or dollars. And right now we're at $1,819.63 versus what we had yesterday. And again, the T-share rate is a function of that, and I think it's actually at let's see, 18,190. Oh no, wait, what am I doing? Yep,
It's approaching the
18,492.
18.5. Yeah.
Yeah, 18,192. Man, I mean, it's crazy. When we started the year, it was what, 16,000 basically.
Was it
And
that high
here we
already?
are. Yeah, yeah. It was. I did the calculation. I want to say like
Just goes to
80.
show how big BPD was, man.
Yeah. It was like a 55% jump or something like that. In the, I can't remember exactly. It was pretty big because it went from 11 to 16, basically. You know, it did a pretty hefty jump. Um, and you got to account for that.
So that. Oh wait, you don't get that chart up anymore.
Whoa, which one?
The one with where the data skewed. Isn't this the one where the data skewed?
Well,
You see how Oh, you were on the right one. Not the hex holders chart, the other one. Yeah,
this one.
S2F tracker. Yeah, see how the
Yeah.
pink and red lines are, they're not in the beginning. They used to be almost the same line, is what it
Whoa,
looked
whoa,
like.
whoa,
Now
whoa,
they're
whoa, whoa,
slightly
whoa, whoa,
skewed.
whoa, whoa. That's not right. Something happened.
Okay.
That shouldn't be like that.
Okay. That's what I was
Yeah.
wondering. So you were talking
That's
about some other thing then.
yeah. No, that's not right. There's something wrong with with the data points in there. I'll check it because that shouldn't
Okay.
be. That
Either
should be
way,
the
it
same.
doesn't affect us right now. But yeah.
No. It doesn't affect us at all. That's just a data error. That's just a data error. That's like literally 1 or 2 days off or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
All right.
Because this is just a T-share and the dollar, or and the price of X. So these should be the same. It shouldn't be different. It shouldn't diverge. Hold on, guys.
Belly, what up?
This is the Grand Slam right here. So this chart, you guys seen it for a long time, but the reality is that I wasn't showing it in its proper form because I never really thought about it, or at least gave a thought, a serious thought as to what I was showing. And today, for some ungodly reason, I did, and I realized that it was wrong. And the reason is because the price should have always been a log form, obviously, duh. And it was not. It was in linear form. Whereas the payout per t-shirt sum line is just a discrete calculation, meaning it's not going to change based on anything except what it is. So it's just a basic, straightforward calculation. There's not any real variables to it, whereas with price there is, right? Which is why it can be in log 2 form. So what you're looking at now is basically escape from the asylum, right? Because now we can literally see correctly at the price versus the value proposition. So in essence, the price is still cheap because it's still below the value proposition. And that
Yeah,
makes
this makes a
sense.
lot more sense for me visually. I can
Yep.
see more of the relationship now.
Yep. 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 Before it was much harder to see. Now it's so, I mean, well, the thing about before is you had to be able to conceptualize what that orange line was saying. So that orange line is a payout per t-shirt sum line, and that is the cumulative sum of all the hex paid out per t-share, right? And that is a function of every one t-share in the system. So if you have 10 t-shares, you would multiply that 2,588 by 10. If you have 1,000, you multiply by that 2,588, and so on and so forth, right? And yep. And that's what it's about. It's about those t-shirts, and this is why the system is it works how it works, and we have the proof right here again, right? Because it's about the data. It's not about opinions. It's not about anything else. We don't care about none of that here. It's cute, it's cute to have your opinion, but that doesn't get you paid. At the end of the day, data gets you paid, and that's what we're here to represent. That's what we're here to show. That's what we're here to talk about, right? So this is why we can say we're going to be billionaires, because the data let us know what we got going on right here, right? Now, when you look at the data, we know that this line here is always going to be happening, always. So that is to say, well, what's to stop it from going up all the time? Because that orange line is going to be true all the time. So that's the question.
Well, the payout has to go down by means of the hex price going down. That's what would drag that line down.
The dollar value going up, basically. Not the orange line. The orange line is never going to go down. That's always going to go up. It's more so the pink line that we're worried about here. I don't think the orange line can never go down. Because that's a sun line. It's going to be cumulative. It always has to go up. Meaning it's always being added on
Is
to.
that measured in hex? Yeah, that's measured in
Yeah.
hex.
Yeah.
That has to go up for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always going to go up. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here's your value proposition.
Yes, sir. I mean, and this is a great comment by GRAPHHEX.ROCKS, because that's basically me. Most of mines are 15 years, and I mean, I got more money now than ever, so it is what it is. It's not a lot, but it's more than I've ever had, so it works for me. Because nothing but greener pastures on the other side of that for me. So hard to beat that, right? Yeah. And the higher price goes, the more beautiful the show. And that's what it's about. So this is why we look at this data. This is why we understand the data. We break it down. Let's see. Got any questions? Okay, so those are probably fake numbers because there are a lot of bots on the internet. So it's all good, man. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, please be
COTG,
careful.
I was gonna say, if you got, just ask specific questions when we get to each chart, and then we'll try to answer those.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. I'll watch every once in a while. I probably understand. Oh, come on, man. Don't do that to me. Please ask away. There's no person that shouldn't know what these charts are saying. Please.
Yeah,
Ask away.
that means we're not explaining it good enough. If that's
Yeah. So this line, right? This orange line is literally what happens every single day at 000 UTC. So everybody in the system is getting paid per that single T share. And what I'm tracking here is how much the system has paid out to a single T share over time. And it turns out that that value is exactly what the system is tracking via the price. And that's what this chart is showing. Give me a second, guys.
so. If you would have started, the orange line is basically saying that if you started a T-share on day one, that every day you would have got paid a certain amount of hex, and that the total would have been, now we're at 2,500.
Yeah, it's just a sum. So it's just adding up every single day's payout per T-share, per single T-share, right? Because it's just the payout per T-share. It's not adding up anything else. And it's giving you a complete value, a total sum of all of those hex that have been paid out to one T-share. And it just so happens that the system is tracking that value, and that's just what it is. I mean, how would we know this otherwise? Nobody would have ever known it otherwise if this chart wouldn't exist. Because who would guess that? I wouldn't have.
Right. It's like two swings of a pendulum. Like, price goes up because the price goes up because the system adds value because it's printing more coins, and it's printing more coins because people are buying and pushing the price up. So it's like,
Right. And we got charts to prove it. Coming right up.
That's there's their interplay between price and payout per T-share
Value.
line.
Yep. Yep. It's a
Until
beautiful
until
thing
there's like huge
because
FOMO and then overperformance, right? And then you
right,
might have something
right,
like
right, right.
previously back here where you get this massive S curve.
Correct. I mean, look, it's like pre-inflation, 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 pre-inflation catches up and hangs on,
Hangs on. Key.
and that's it. Hangs on, right? Because then look at
Well,
what's
Amazon
happening now.
Amazon hung on too, right? So like it can be done. It's been done before.
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
but
that's
there's an
not hanging on to
actual
T shares, but it's hanging on to the productivity of that business. If you want to try to
correct,
kind of compare them a little bit.
right?
So
I
basically,
mean,
their
beautiful thing.
productivity and is the same as the way a T share has productivity.
Yeah. I mean, the orange line is a measure of its productivity in hex terms, right?
Correct.
And this is a measure of the performance of one T share since inception, right? And the reality is that that T share is driving the value of the price. That's all. That's what this specific chart is saying. So if that's not clear, please let me know. Because that's not, I'm not out here trying to be smart. I'm not. I'm trying to explain this shit. It's for real. Like, I want everybody to know what they're doing. And I want everybody to understand what they're doing when they're selling, when they're buying, yada yada. So please let me know if you're not understanding because this is literally showing you it's a store of value. Literally. Here's the value. The orange line is a value. Because that is exactly yes, it will be immortalized. You're welcome. But no, in all seriousness, please. If there's a chart that I have here that doesn't make sense, let me know, and I will make it make sense because that's my job. You know, so I'm here. It's the whole reason I even started streaming. Hex payout index metrics. What we're looking at here is a payout per t-shirt sum line, which is the line previous, but in percentage terms, right? In index form, 2,300. Oh, I'm sorry, 234,595, rounding up. So we take away 100, and that gives us our actual percentage return, which is insane. And we have the payout per t-shirt index at 528. Basically 5x, and the daily payout index at 17,320, which is basically 173x. And of course, what systems out there do this consistently and in crypto terms? In a good crypto, that's always appreciating in value. I'll wait because you don't have any. You're gonna have to dig hard. And good luck to you finding it. Let me know if you do though, because I'm down. Why wouldn't I be? Right, hex payout metrics, Posey payday. We got payout per t-shirt yesterday was at 5.834. For the day, it was 5.779. 64.2 million hex paid out yesterday. Today, it must have been a little bit more, or I'm saying a little bit less. Excuse me.
Okay, so we're getting
So
all-time highs across the board here. Just FYI.
what?
Like not on Hex, on
Oh,
everyone else. Hex is chilling at 18.236.
oh wow, very
So
nice.
yeah.
Let's check nomics while they pump it. Just need to know. I need to know if it's real or not. And it is not. So good for them.
What's your
Pumping. What's up?
last sign of, what's your last sign of, I mean, you can talk on Quant Gang on Tuesday, of course, too, but what's your last call for it flips bullish all-time high?
What do you mean? 63.5 million. What do you mean? So a little bit less than
Uh,
yesterday's. And 11 million shares. Yeah. What do you mean? What's my call on the all-time high?
on like on at what point does the market actually going to, is it the super cycle continue in your eyes?
Uh, well, here's the thing. As of right now, it's looking like the market reloaded, right? Because it tested that downtrend basically and bounced off of it, and it's even breached the previous high.
Mhm.
So as of now, it looks like it's gonna recover highs as of now,
Mhm.
but it actually needs to. That's the
Mhm.
thing, because it's still below this peak and below that peak, right? But the danger is always gonna be what happens here, because that's always gonna determine, right? Because what happens if, like, it's above the zero line here, so it's safe, right? As far as MACD goes. So, question is, what's actually gonna happen once it reaches maybe 52? Does it get stuck there? Because that's a pretty big resistance area.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Hmm.
It'll be
So,
interesting to see, won't it be?
yeah, very, very. So this is
So
the
hex
chart we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, this one. So you see what I was talking about?
Hmm.
Where we
I
have a
mean,
little
look,
hex. Look at that little thing.
yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah, you want to go explain what happened there? Like as far as between everything?
Yeah. So you had the launch, right? You got value being printed. So what's going on here? Let me start with that first. First, we have the hex price, then the payout per T-share average line, which is all the average of all the payouts per T-share, and the average now is 4.129. Payout per T-share average for 28 days is currently at 5.874 as of yesterday. Gonna be a little lower versus today's value, right? Because it was a little bit less than yesterday's. Payout per T-share average of 55 days is at 6, basically. So essentially, what you saw here was an escape, a breach of value, right? So it was too expensive. So the market had to come back and find value. And once it did, it just kept going until it was able to actually take off. And that's what we're seeing here. So the question is, what's going to happen here? We don't know. But it would be interesting to see a range over the next year or two. I wouldn't mind that. Imagine that. I
Yeah.
mean, completely out of the question for Hex, right? But it would be nice
Yeah,
if
I
it
probably
actually
won't get it.
respected value like that. I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah, it's just gonna
But
overperform
nah, yeah, it's not gonna do that.
because it's already cheap.
Yeah, it's not gonna do that. Oh, I forgot to do these damn charts, but it's all right. Oh no, same thing. Excuse me. So aspiring shares. Excuse me, that was a Hispanic coming out. Um, August 10th, it looked like that. About 45% for August. Same again for August. September is kind of like hanging at 30%. Picks up a little bit for September, while August drops a bit, a little bit below 45. September's around 32. Same deal for the 22nd, about the same. So just more of the same, just short stakes getting rolled out. And that theirs was driving the T-shirt rate higher, and that's we're going to ultimately see what that means. And here we have a correlations chart, and as always, a zero. And I want you to know a couple, just notice a few things. First off is the correlation, it being zero at the R squared value. The x-axis is for the hex, and the y-axis for Ethereum and Bitcoin on the respective charts, Bitcoin returns. And thirdly, excuse me, what you're going to see is that the dot plot here is a representation of the X return for Hex and the Y return for Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Either or. And ultimately, what this dot plot is showing is where the returns lie relative to each respective day, right? Versus each asset. So, what does that mean? Well, if they're playing football and one's a wide receiver and one is a cornerback, well, the wide receiver is going to be Hex in this case because it's going to be going for them touchdowns, whereas Bitcoin is going to be getting dusted because it's not Deion Sanders, and it wishes it was. And that's probably too old for those of you that are young. But for those of you in my age range, you know what I'm talking about. And we'll keep it like that because he was a G. And yeah, so the hex returns are positively skewed, right? And what that means is that if you look at the x-axis, the right side of the zero line is primarily hex, whereas the positive side of the zero axis for Ethereum is showing splashes all over. It's not really positive at all. It's just all over, right? Which is volatile. It's not very positive looking. It's not really going to instill confidence in anybody that's looking to invest once they find that. Now, this is the MagDaddy chart, and this is the rolling correlations of T shares versus Hex in dollar terms. And we have the 55-day, 34-day, and 21-day correlation in their respective colors. And long story short, it's just like Axis was showing earlier. Once this market broke out here, it kind of just snapped into.
Yeah, clearly all the work done by the community to get everyone on board that T-shares was the value proposition is working, because ever since that breakout, we've been more correlated than ever to T-shares.
Yep,
So that means that the users are understanding and using the system properly.
correct. Correct. Basically it. Simple as that. And here we have the dollar terms chart for the hex dollar, for the hex price. Pay over T share in dollar terms, adjusted hex value, which is just the height price of hex plus the payout per T share, payout per T share in dollar values. And as of last night, that gave us a 18.86 cent price. Right now we're at 18.36. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pumping
moving. Looks
everything.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going through the middle of let's see, pull up some moving averages here on the 1 hour. Oh yeah, we're looking good. We just bounced off
Oh yeah. Wow.
the 100 moving average on the 1 hour chart. So and strong too. That looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, it was very good.
But
All
yeah,
right.
so
So
here
we
we
got
go. One T-shirt is paying you about $1.10 per day right now.
yeah. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Because I remember when that was, 25 cents, 15 cents. Crazy.
So like if you're a miner and you're listening to us right now and you're thinking in terms of return stream on investment on mining equipment and everything, keep in mind when you're looking at the returns in Hex, the equipment's free. First of all, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, more than anything, you're looking at your return on investment. So in mining, like if you're buying a $3,000 machine, in this case, you're buying a $3,300 T-share. In Bitcoin terms, you're trying to figure out how long it's going to take you to ROI, and you can try to factor that by two factors: both the difficulty and the hash rate that you have, the difficulty of the network and the hash rate that you have on that machine. You can usually project out how long it's going to take you to ROI. So a miner coming into Hex is going to try to look at this from a without thinking about how the T shares compound value over time. So
Right.
they're going to see this and say, okay, so I got to pay $3,000, and I'm going to get $1.10 back every day for 365 days. How many dollars is that? And then they're gonna are they gonna ROI and no? Are they're gonna take them 3,300 days to ROI? With a T share, that's
Yeah.
what they're thinking, because they're missing the most key element of the system, which is the compounding effect and ratcheting effect of T shares, because they're tied to hex price. So you know those T shares that you're getting now that you're paying $3,000 for and getting $1.10 per day. It's not fair to try to measure and project out the kind of returns you're going to see from any kind of a mining perspective, because it's taking out the fact that price appreciation is tied to share rate, and they both are traveling upward. Um, it's just I'm still trying to find the best way to come up with a simple way to describe the compounding effect. But usually, what I just say is like, this is the way that I say it to people is like, when I started my first stake, which was day one, it wasn't yielding anything,
Anything.
pennies,
Yeah.
right?
Nothing.
And I mean, it was a $150 investment, but today that investment's, well over 20 grand, So like
Yeah.
what looked like a linear relationship back then, it was so I just missed it, man. So it's just
Yeah.
we got
It's
to keep reminding
asymmetric in
people.
reality.
Yeah, we just got to keep reminding people that to try to use like hexcalc.net, go try that out, try different calculations and different price
Yeah,
and listen to
definitely.
people, listen to people's opinions on how price is going to appreciate over time.
Yeah, because if they've been around, they've seen some stuff that isn't gonna make sense to you if you're new or anything like that. And it's unique because and it's just about understanding again, right? And we talked about this a lot earlier. It's just what's actually happening is that we're monetizing time here, right? We're taking the most valuable asset and allowing ourselves to get some of it back by buying hex and swapping that hex out for t-shirts. That's very important. There's a lot that goes to that. Because like for example, like I know by the time my 15-year stakes are done, man, I don't got to think about nothing ever again. And that's just my 15-year stakes. I don't even got anything else that I'm like looking forward to because those are gonna be like, what about the ones that I'm gonna do in the future that are gonna be shorter? Those are gonna be something to look at too because guess what? Price doesn't stop doing this thing. So, you know, it's kind of surreal when you sit there and think about it, especially when you realize that your bag's about to get doubled. Like, man. So if I stake a ladder, or if I ladder stake every year from 15 years back to one, restake my principal every 15 years, then once I hit my 10-year triple T-shirt stake all stakes from then on
So
will
if I'm
attribute to
reading this question properly, I think if I'm understanding what I think you're saying, you're not going to be able to get anywhere
the
near
same
the amount of
amount.
T
Yeah.
shares that you think you're going to get in 10 years. Like with all your money at that point, you still wouldn't, you're probably going to be getting maybe a few million shares. Like I don't know what the actual unit will be, but you ain't going to be getting anywhere near the T shares. Like you'd be better
Nah.
off staking once or twice a year, a big fat stake that you've accumulated over the year, locking that stuff in for 15 years, and then the next year doing the same thing, accumulate a huge liquid position, lock it for 15 years, and then do that like once, or maybe even quarterly, whatever works for you. But then at least you're holding a liquid position during the run-ups, and then you're front running all the price appreciation, but you're also staking
Yeah.
meaningful stakes for the long term.
For sure. Makes sense. Boom, 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 boom. Payouts are great. Yes, they are. But this chart is crazy, right? Because like the most interesting thing on this chart is that green line. Because that green line wouldn't be possible if the data wouldn't be able to produce it, right? Like that's pretty crazy. Now here's the infamous X price to earnings chart, which is showing how a measly 17% of value is what the system is allowing you to wait for in terms of how quickly you can get your money back. So if you buy Hex, stake it for whatever the average duration is, right, which is going to give you the payout or whatever the duration is. Actually, it doesn't actually matter because what I'm doing here is I'm taking one hex and dividing it by the payout per T share, right? And the longer you hold on, the quicker you make that value back. That's really all it is, right? And the more you hold on, the more value you get back from the system. So it's kind of skewed in your favor in a lot of ways. The question is, do you understand that? So here's the T-share market cap versus X, and it's at a nice, cool 38.6 billion. It's a little lower tonight, probably about 35 billion, but oh well, right? I mean, well? Hold on, actually, let's check the price. Oh, 18.4 cents. Nope, it's been real, bro. They'll learn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Moving right along. Versus the all-time low of 551, right? Like, come on, 17%. 500. Come on. All right. So this is where we are. And I got some new charts to share. Hope you guys are ready. This is about the network effect, right? And we've been talking about it for a long time, and I've never been able to get my hands on this data, and I finally did. So here we are. The first chart is kind of something that I think is a leading indicator. No worries, bro. Pleasure. Um, and I think you'll see what I mean once we go through it. And this is the hex holders versus the price of hex, right? So this
Nice.
is
Liking
yeah,
this.
this is gonna be a function of right, how many people are actually holding it in a wallet, and as you kind of see, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like at certain points in time, the wallets or the holders, the holder count, the wallet count, whatever you want to call it, increases a little bit before the price. I don't know if that's just me, but that's kind of what I see. Um, and sometimes it does not. Right, so Big Payday is one of those instances where the wallet count increased, but the prices did a complete reversal. Right, and it actually did that over here as well. This was like day 230 something. It had this pop and it just
Wales,
reversed.
this is
Yeah.
exactly what I was talking about forever now about how it's like the kind of movement you need to see in price to see that kind of price movement down. Look at both of those moments were preceded by huge run-ups. Huge. Both of those
All right.
where the wallets increased, with the price went down.
Yeah.
They're both also all-time highs too. Or
Yep. They were. So it's like too
um,
many people bought at that point.
yeah, it was just a little bit overvalued at that moment for the size of the market. But in the
Yeah.
future, the market's going to grow rapidly, so I think you'll see not as much of this activity for some time. But when you do, it's going to take an extremely vertical move and a bunch of new onboarded users to get there. But I think it's awesome though, dude, because this chart's awesome because right at the most recent pump, you can see clearly that um, price pumping like it did on SAC phase made people interested in Hex. It's clear by this chart.
Yep. For sure. I mean, look at the increase in holders. So.
Also, we had Kiko interview around then, and Richard's been is doing a
Mm-hmm.
lot more outreach. So
Yep. Yeah, it's been working. It's been working. And here we have what I like to think of as a lagging indicator, which is the increase in stakers and current stakers. So these are the active stakes that you're seeing in the system as of last night. Um, yeah. So I mean, it's cool, right? Because it's like the more stakes you have in the system, the loftier the price gets almost.
mm,
That's kind of what it seems like to me. I
mm.
don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like it floats higher faster, like it moves up faster because of all the stakes. Because
It's
you're
this one's
this
gonna be
was
a
that
fun one to watch.
yeah, because this was this price dump right to 8 cents, and it basically did nothing.
Yeah, huh.
So
Yeah. I can't wait to see this chart. In like
develop over
6 months.
time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy because we know where it's going.
Mhm.
And here's the coin stake. There's a percentage of the total supply. Right now, we're right in between 9 and 10%, which is giving us about 37% APY. Is it? Whoa, what just happened?
For a short term stake, APY 12.46%.
Nah. Just the average. Just whatever the system's generating on an APY basis. Let's see. Yeah, 37 and a half. So
Mm.
that means we are. Sorry, guys. Yeah, stupid ads. Somewhere between 9 and 10%, right? So we're right at 37 and a half. So that means we're closer to 10, which is what we saw with 37 and a half, right? Which is that hop, skip, and a jump from 36.9%, right? Which is what that value is right there. So the more people that stake, the lower the yield goes. So the capacity of the system is for 3.69%. So that's that value that you hear all the time being mentioned. And this is what it means. But until the system is fully staked, you're not gonna see a 3.69% usage or APY. Sorry, and that's only happened once, and that was for a big payday, and we haven't seen it since. So yeah, you could even see it in that payout Patricia some line, but there it goes. The only time I was ever stayed at the max and caused the price to actually go to the low, which I think at the time was like 3.93, 3.9, something like that. So, I mean, and again, with all of the hex that has been removed from the system due to the sacrifice, it can't really go lower than probably 4.25 now, or maybe even higher. I don't know. I'd have to try to do the math. But that's pretty much it, right? Because you've had so much supply removed. I mean, maybe it can even go lower than 5%. Because I mean, that was a fifth of the supply that was just removed. Until it's like reproduced in the system by the minting, right, of the bond supply token design, it's just not gonna happen. So, and because that was a lot of hex that was sacrificed. I can't remember the total amount. Must have been like 4 or 7 billion, something like that. I don't remember anymore. It was a lot. Um, but yeah, that's about it, brother. Got
Yeah.
anything crazy you want to say?
Nah, man. Thanks everyone for being here. We got more coming down the pipe. I think we wanted to do a co-stream here with another TA streamer here one of these nights. I don't think he could make it in tonight, but maybe he's coming. Hold on. We might have to extend this thing a few minutes. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just happy to be in the and being Hex early, and I don't really see a lot of reason to be in very many other assets right now, and I don't see a
None
lot
of
of
them.
risk in Hex.
Yeah,
I
none of
don't.
them are doing this. That's for sure.
No, no, no. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you. Um, maybe we'll bring Jenkins on another night. How's that
Yeah, it's
sound?
all good, man. Yeah, it's all good. There's no reason for him to rush to be on for a few minutes. You
Nah,
got
he was
better
just
stuff to
he
do.
got off a plane or something a little bit ago, so he's kind of
Yeah, yeah, it's all good, bro. It's all
wrapped
good.
up.
It's already 11:30 anyway. It's all good.
Alrighty.
But yeah, man. This is this chart. Like, just dream about it every night. This is it. This is it. This is the one. Crazy. All right, guys. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/self course /Wells Only One. YouTube at youtube.com/Wells Only. And my website at wellsonly.com. If you've never downloaded a Staker app, you can plug income.watch into your browser, and that'll give you that referral app link thing. If you don't want to use that, then just go to Staker.app. Same thing. And as always, you can check out my website, wellsonly.com. Got all these charts are there. I'll write some stuff up. I got some stuff I need to publish. I just haven't done it yet. And yeah, just look out for Access on Twitter at twitter.com/AccessLive. And, we're around. Hit us up. I'm also on Telegram, and so is he.
All right, everybody.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good
Well,
night,
I'll see you
guys.
guys next week. All right.
Peace.